All right, a Tuesday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, and the Drake. We head up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours, we've got you. An hour from now, we will head up to St. Joe. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Matt Nagy. It'll be Robert Tonyan. It'll be Mike Edwards and Jeffrey Bassa today. So you would think that, sort of switching it up, I guess, a little bit. It's offensive coordinator with some special teams players, with some guys that'll be a little bit further down the roster. But Mike Edwards, Jeffrey Bassa's, Dave Tobe talked a lot about Jeffrey Bassa as a special teamer. So we get Matt Nagy today, Robert Tonyan, Mike Edwards, and Jeffrey Bassa. We get Les Norman as well coming up in the noon hour. Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Todd Lebo, a little more Todd Lebo in our lives. We need that coming up at 1 o'clock. Fact or fiction with Todd Lebo?
Fact.
That's correct. Whether we hear you or not,
Fact.
I'm taking it as a fact.
Fact.
Well, see,
you got up and left.
I know you left the
well,
room.
okay, so here's what happened. What happened
He
was...
said get up and go, and so he got up and went.
What happened was we were having a riveting conversation
We had a fun conversation with Jeff.
Chadilla.
That's right.
And I forgot to pick up the formats, and
That's
I
fine.
said, oh, bleep.
That's fine.
Let me go get the formats off of the printer.
How am I supposed to know what we're going to talk about today and the sound bites and all of this stuff without this thing right in front of me?
I mean, we talked about it.
We did.
And
we
then
totally
I just...
talked about it. I mean, I've got this paper format, and I also got the book here as well. So we got stuff. We got stuff, man. We got things. And you went out and grabbed that, and so we turned off the mic, and then you came back in, and now your mic's back on. Now we're ready to roll.
Now we're good. Well, I used to
what?
play basketball with Jeff Chadilla. That's how I met him. I had
really?
no idea who he was at first.
In high school?
It was at Lifetime Fitness.
Okay.
I just moved back from Philly. I'm like, he looks familiar, but I don't think I know him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to some guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing some nighttime board op work at 8:10. They're like, you should talk to Jeff. I'm like, who? They're like, Jeff Chadilla, NFL. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an
why he
idiot.
looks familiar.
I'm like, instead I'm like, I'm gonna
Okay.
try and give him buckets so then he respects me.
So now you're just passing to him the whole time?
No. I'm trying.
Are you guarding him?
No, well, I'm not going to guard him. He's
Okay.
a strong man. But on offense, I'm going to try and, hey, set me a screen, his guy, so I can take him one-on-one. So then I can try and get his approval, if you
see.
will.
Okay, so you were trying to impress him as a basketball player, not like bow down to him and like.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't bow down.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't want to think you're a chump.
No,
It's like,
you're not going to do that.
You're going to gain more respect by being a baller. than you
Trying
will if
to
you just
give him
being-
buckets.
Yeah, just by being a chump. Billy Hoyt. You get more respect by him than Sydney's friend that wanted to go to Sizzler. You get a little more respect when you're the baller. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. 913-912-4810 text line to be a part of the show, part of the conversation. We'll talk a little preseason football today as well. Coming up on Saturday, it is game week, which is why the depth chart was released yesterday, but we've got football coming up on Thursday night. We get football coming up, is it tonight or tomorrow night with the knocking of the hard on Max Hard Knocks? I believe tonight. I believe it's Tuesdays that it comes out. So Buffalo Bills. It's the first time in a long time that we've seen a team that is a good Super Bowl contending team on Hard Knocks, because typically the rule is that you hadn't made the playoffs the year before, you haven't been on Hard Knocks for like 3 or 4 years. Like, it's typically a rebuilding or new coaching staff, something along those lines. So they did away with all of those rules and essentially said anybody can be on Hard Knocks. And so the NFL chose the Bills. And so I think it'll be interesting because it's a team right there with the Chiefs as one of the best teams in the NFL. It's not some random lowly team that we're watching and going, oh, what are the fun storylines of this rebuilding? Because there's going to be storylines with James Cook and his contract. I like Josh Allen a lot. I think he's a really good dude. Seems like a really good guy and a fantastic football player and the second best quarterback in the league. So interested to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with that. I haven't
What's
heard.
Sean McDermott going to have to do his
my goodness,
pregame
man.
speeches? They're going to have to be.
Yeah, that's a good call. They're going to have to cut them. They have final approval, though. They have to cut those out, Yeah, I haven't watched the rest of the quarterback series, but I've also heard from people that have watched that Burrow doesn't exactly come off as like, Kirk Cousins stole the show in season 1 of quarterback. Burrow doesn't exactly come off as like, oh man, just love watching Joe Burrow and being around him.
Oh, yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole thing recently. I just finished it.
Yeah.
And I thought Burrow was weird.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, that's.
I think weird is the best way of putting it.
That's been the consensus, like an odd duck, sort of weird. We'll see what Josh Allen looks like.
And by the way, it's not necessarily trying to be a knock on Joe Burrow because we're here in Kansas City, but you see some of the things that you see something that maybe he cares about that not football related. And then I'm trying to obviously do some comparisons with Patrick.
Yeah.
And it does feel a little bit like, yes, he wants to win, but I think he does love those individual accolades. While I think Patrick wants to win more, he's cool with the individual accolades, but what really matters is winning. And maybe it's if situations were different, we'd have a different perspective. But I was almost left with Joe Burrow really wants to win, but he also loves those accolades, while Mahomes winning is everything.
I think Mahomes winning is everything, but winning while not only being everything, but being respected as not only a winner, but the best in the league, and not having any disrespect whatsoever, because any slight, you start to get the petty Mahomes, petty Pat, which I'm perfectly fine having as much petty Pat as possible out there, because I feel like when petty Pat is out there, you get more of the bleep you tour, you get more of the bleep you Pat Mahomes. You
the
get
best version.
Yeah, you get what Therese Paylor called the over my dead body games that Patrick Mahomes would play. And, he's had a number of them. That Bills game in the AFC Championship game was one of those games, was an over my dead body game for Patrick Mahomes, and went out and played some of the best football he has played in his career in the postseason, and they win that game. So we'll see what comes of that. So we've delayed it long enough. Let's talk Royals. Bailey Falter on the mound last night. The Royals fall behind quickly in that game. Felt like that was just a random game in the middle of the summer that you sort of forget along the way, and you move on, and you win some like that, you lose some like that. A number of other games are going to be wins and losses, and those games can be won or lost within the margins. And I thought last night's game was going to be one of those to where we just watch it play out. You got to go and get the 27 outs and call it a day. And they fought back, down 8-1. The eighth inning happens. They forced the Red Sox to use 3 different relievers. They score 4 runs. They're continuing the rally. They get a gift on strike 3 that was called ball 4 that Jonathan India thought was strike 3 as well, because he turned around like, was walking back, and then immediately dropped a bat. And I don't think I've seen somebody take off the pads and the guards and the bat that far away from home plate on a walk. He thought that was strike 3. So they get a gift, and then they give it right back, and they lose that game. Look, there are a number of things that go along with this. I want to start off with the first sort of bigger picture thing, and that is, if Nick Lofton does not run through the stop sign, Vinny Pasquantino could have very easily just popped up, okay? And we could still be talking about a loss, right? We'd be talking maybe a different way about a loss, but we'd still be talking about a loss. We'd probably be talking more about what we saw from Bailey Falter. We were wondering what his middle name was, and it could either be Didier or William. I think we got the text last night that Bailey's middle name might be William.
Bailey will falter.
Yeah, Bailey Didier Falter last night. And that was a rough one. It was a rough start for him, both literally, figuratively. Well, literally for both of them. 2 literals. Rough start in his career for the Royals, and rough start last night, and a rough start in the first inning. And, you and I talk about this. There isn't just one mistake. Oh, it was a mistake pitch there. Oh, I just left that one out there. You don't put yourself in a position to where a 2-run first inning or a 5-run first inning is based on one swing. And I'm still old enough to remember when there were Royals fans saying no thank you to Jarren Duran. I put out the trade proposition, Lugo Blake Mitchell and Mazzucato for Jaren Duran, and it was split. There were a lot of people like, yes, immediately. Others like, no way, wouldn't touch that guy. Got like a 700 OPS. Like, yeah, okay, well, he had a terrible April and early May.
800.
And well, that was
Well, it's almost 800.
right. But again, that was just a couple of weeks ago when we're talking about Lugo. Like, he's been one of the hottest players in baseball right now. He's a phenomenal player. Be cool if you had this guy in the outfield for the Royals, but that's why the Red Sox.
You got John Rave. You're fine.
Well, that's why the Red Sox said no to a number of people calling about Jaren Duran, including the Royals. The reports were the Royals were interested in Jaren Duran. So it wasn't just one pitch there. But let's talk about the biggest thing that happened in that. Nick Lofton, double, RBI, makes it 8-5. Flips over the lineup. You get to India, you get to Bobby Witt, and hopefully to Vinny. And you are starting to feel the nerves around Fenway. And you're starting to sort of dream about, like, man, could this be one of those games where we look back to that Seattle Mariners game a year ago? They came back from 8 runs, and then they had the tiebreaker over the Mariners in the postseason.
Who's the MJ? John Rave.
It could have been. I mean, it could have been John Rave. But that didn't happen. And Nick Lofton gets thrown out at home by running through a stop sign.
I was so mad.
There are a couple of things with this. I think there's the micro, and I think there's the macro of this whole thing. Because there's a specific, sort of smaller part of understanding baseball and understanding the situation of baseball and what was happening in that moment last night. And then I think there's the wider 10,000-foot view of what took place last night. Nick Lofton telling Annie Rogers last night, I hit the bag, kept my head down because that's usually what I do with 2 outs, and I was trying to score on a base hit. Looked up, saw him put his hand up, and at that point, I just kind of kept going. Lofton added, I was being aggressive, got lost in the present, wasn't really thinking about where we were at in the score. Won't happen again. Should probably go through knowing the situation. We were down 3 runs. My run clearly doesn't matter at that point. It's a rally killer, for sure. Those are the quotes from Nick Lofton. Let's hear Matt Quatrero last night. This is after the game. Him talking about what took place there with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Well, describe it. I mean, Bobby hit that ball really hard, 1 hopper. Lofty ran through the stop sign. They made a great throw to the plate. We're going to challenge that every time based on the blocking the plate, rule. You never know what they're going to come back with. The ball was up the line. I didn't think we would get it, but then when I saw the replay, I thought there was a better chance than there was prior. Yeah, no, I talked to him in the dugout. I mean, you got to understand the game situation at that point. It's he's trying to be aggressive. Probably got a little carried away with knowing there were 2 outs, and normally you take chances with 2 outs, but when you're down by 3 and you're getting the go-ahead run to the plate right there, you got to stay at third. Yeah, I mean, we were swinging the bat well in that inning. We're getting multiple relievers in the game, which is good for us as well. Getting looks at those guys. So, it's a mental mistake, and he won't make that again.
See, that last part I don't know.
No, he won't because he'll be in Omaha.
Well, there's that. But he won't make that again. He's in his 3rd year in the big leagues. I know he's been up and down, but that makes it more egregious in the fact that he's been up and down. He's a 4A player, for this team. If Bobby ran through a stop sign, a little too aggressive. If Salvi ran through a stop sign, maybe he's a big guy. He just can't stop. You're not stopping a freight train.
You can't unhook the wagon.
Yeah, you're not stopping a freight train. It's no brakes. All gas, no brakes at that point, running around.
Wild card.
Yes, wild card.
Someone cut the brakes.
You know what? If Salvi just picks up Vance Wilson and keeps running, right? That would, you know what? That
Come
would
with
be
me, my friend.
Look at my friend. That would be more enjoyable than watching Nick Lofton run through the stop sign. It wasn't a demonstrative stop sign of him, waving his hands, but it's the sign that Vance Wilson gives. It's the pointing at the bag right here. Nick Lofton hadn't got to third yet. Wilyer Abreu was fielding the ball. Lofton was a step away from third, and Vance is already pointing at the bag. Now, luckily, they had the all-22 version of the Major League Baseball's version. They had the bigger view, so you could see as Lofton was getting close to third, Vance Wilson clearly pointing at third, clearly pointing. And then as Lofton's rounding, Vance Wilson is taking steps towards home, still pointing at third. Like, hey, third, stop. And if you look as he's rounding third, and I was wondering if Lofton felt like he got to the point of no return, that if I stop here, I'm going to get thrown out going back to third. So I've just got to keep going. But if he turns and stops and heads back to third, he would have been safe. But that's the mistake that was made in that moment. The situational awareness was lacking in that moment. That's the macro part, okay, or the micro part. Wilyer Abreu has one of the best arms in right field.
97th percentile arm strength.
You're down by 3. You have 2 outs in the 8th inning. You have Vinny coming up.
Who's already hit a home run in the game, by the way.
He hit the home run in the inning. He started the 8th
Oh,
inning
yeah,
with
you're right.
the home run.
It was the same inning.
It would be his second at bat of the inning. They batted around. He would have another chance up there in the 8th inning. So that's situational awareness. And he talked about it. In that quote that I gave, that Nick Lofton gave to Annie Rogers, in that he said, got lost in the present, was being too aggressive, wasn't really thinking about where we were at in the score, won't happen again, should probably go through knowing the situation. We were down 3 runs. My run clearly doesn't matter at that point. Okay. So that's the situational awareness. That's that one play in a vacuum, right? One play specific, okay, that sucks. It's 162. Those things will happen. But if Nick Lofton is a guy on this team that feels like, I'll just run through a stop sign, this is not one time that this team has had issues on the base paths. It's not one time that this team has had issues with lack of discipline. It's not one time that this team has failed to come through in an inability of playing the game of baseball. It's the John Rave can't put a bunt down. It's the Jonathan India on a sacrifice to get him over to third against the White Sox, slides past third on the side of third with his legs and grabs the bag with his left arm, sliding past it, and he's out at third because his feet didn't touch the bag. If he slides into the bag, he's safe. It's a sacrifice. Why are you sliding? Because it's going to be close. Yet you're sliding past the bag. Throwing to wrong bases. Like, this is a team that what they did a year ago is not what is happening with this team right now. And it's not to say, like, I know immediately people will jump to and say, well, there's Matt Quatrero. No, it's Matt Quatrero's fault. Well, did he lose discipline in the clubhouse from a year ago to now? Because this team wasn't doing some of those things last year. The Royals last year in base running, runs above average, they were the 7th best team in baseball at plus 8.8. They're minus 3.2 now. It's 12 runs difference. 12 runs on the base paths this year that they've cost themselves. That's a lot, by the way. 12 runs. And by the way, starting July, they were minus 4.1. So they've actually added almost a run better of base running until last night happens. That's the macro to me, is if Nick Lofton thinks I'll just run through a stop sign, what's going on in the clubhouse to where guys can just think, well, I'll do whatever I want. I'll just sort of play the game how I want. I don't need to practice and make sure that I can really put a bunt down. I'm a 4A player. I don't really need to come through here. I'll work on hitting home runs and hitting line drives. I don't need to practice putting bunts down. I'm trying to make it here in the big leagues, so I need to work on my swing. Oh, called on to put a sacrifice down? I can't come through, can't do it. That's all right, somebody else will come through. It's just one at bat. It's just one time. Is it that big of a deal? Kyle Isbell hits a double in extra innings and isn't paying attention and slides into second. The guy in right field doesn't have the ball, so he can pop up and look at the dugout to celebrate. Celebrate when the play is over. Like the cool hang loose thing. Fine, that's fine, that's great. Have fun with it. The play wasn't over. You're so worried about sliding into second to get up to celebrate with your friends. 9-year-olds do that. 9-year-olds stop when they're told to stop by the base coach. But the guy who's up and down between AAA and Major League Baseball, the guy who's batting ninth on this team, those are the guys that are just like, I'll just play the game, whatever. The guy who's a 4A player in John Rave can't put a bunt down. How are those the players? How are those guys the ones that can't do the little things on this team? They should be the ones that have all of that wrapped up. They should be the ones that have all of those things to a T. John Rave, you need me to put down a bunt? I'm going to put it down every time. Isbell can do that. If Bobby ran through a stop sign, being aggressive, I can forgive it. The guy's an MVP caliber player. But the 4A player,
yeah,
if he sees a stop sign, he's going to have to stop. That's the bigger issue to me, is what we've seen this year and some of these smaller things.
In fairness to Nick Lofton, he's batting .212, so he's not sure what to do when he gets on base. He's not on base a lot, so I think he was a little confused. He's like, "What do I run?"
Yeah.
When you point at third, what does that mean? Does that mean the next base I should go to? The whole thing is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who is, I didn't see much, so good on you, Royals fans as well, complaining about the blocking home plate. It's so lame. That you don't deserve that. Nick Lofton didn't deserve it. The Royals didn't deserve it.
Oh, I was hoping for a miracle, but it was like they weren't.
And even New York, they went to New York, and even New York goes, we can't screw over Boston because it's just not. It's not there. We want to. Trust me, we'd love to screw over Boston,
yeah, good
and
call.
we can't.
Yeah, good call. Even New York, we can flip this and say bleep you Boston and New York, and even they were like, look, I mean, this is too egregious. This is too egregious, man.
Situational awareness on this team is, and you're right, it's lacking, and that's the most frustrating part. Is you have a chance to get Vinny back up to the plate, but the base is loaded, and he's already hit a home run in the inning, but your quad A guy is the guy that makes the dumb decision, and it's why the Royals went after, and now I somewhat see it, Adam Frazier, Randall Grichuk. You trust those guys. They're not going to be great guys, but at least they're not going to be dumbasses on the base paths. There's just too much poor decision-making. I just cannot fathom down 3. That is your thought process there.
We'll get to some text coming in. This one as we go to break. A couple of texts here with this. Says, I disagree. Lofton's definitely more than a 4A player. Even if he's never a starter, which I think he could be, he's definitely a great backup. Well,
he has a career .610 OPS.
He can play both infield and outfield, plus where was he drafted? He's much more than a fringe player. That's the definition of a 4A player.
Seriously?
He's a nice backup. He's up and down. If he was more than a 4A player, he'd be a major league player,
you
but
know
he's
what?
not.
I'll tell you this, too.
He's a 4A player. That's what he is. That's what he'll always be.
Hunter Dozier played infield, outfield, but he didn't play it well.
Did not play it well. And then the same text, it comes up, and it's says, why are you still hung up on the John Rave not getting a bunt down 2 weeks ago? He obviously would have pulled the bat back if they had told him to. But no matter what, have you never played baseball before? If you know the play is a hit and run, or that you're supposed to get the bunt down because the guy is going to take off from whatever base he's on, you have to at least attempt to swing, or you have to attempt to bunt. It wasn't a hit and run, it was a sacrifice. He was trying to sacrifice him over. It wasn't a squeeze play. This wasn't a suicide squeeze. It's sacrifice. You can pull the bat back. That's on John Rave. And why am I hung up on John Rave? Because it's John Rave is part of the problem. Jonathan India not knowing how to slide into bases is part of the problem.
John Rave batting 180, Nick Lofton batting 212. Those are not major league ball players. They're just not.
They are one small. Nick Lofton, who cares that he ran through a stop sign? It's one play. Well, who cares if he can't get a sacrifice down? It's one play. That's what's making up this team. That's why they're under 500. It's why they were 7 games under 500. It's why they've had to play great baseball in July just to get back to 500. It's why they're still 4 games out of the wild card. Is because of plays along the way that add up. Like this. You have to be able to do that. You've got to be able to get a bunt down in a sacrifice situation. You can't slide into second when the ball is still rolling around in the outfield to get up to look over at the bench. And you sure as hell can't run through a stop sign when you haven't even touched third yet and the third base coach is already pointing at third because the guy has a cannon in right field and Bobby laced a line drive to him into right field. It wasn't a bloop. It was a line drive. Just not smart baseball. It's not smart baseball. That's what they've played too often this year. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, the Drake. 913-912-4810. Get some of the texts as well. Rave shouldn't be up in the majors. John Rave shouldn't have been bunting in that situation in the first place. I think some of those are that. Text says contending teams have one player, maybe two, that make that mistake, not 5 or 6 like the Royals. Text says, is that Rave or Nick Lofton texting you? Text says, it's coaching. You need to quit your love fest for this coach. Why do you defend him? This is coaching. I think there's an element of this being coaching. But my question would be, was it not coaching last year then? So if it's coaching this year, then was he a good coach last year? Because you're talking about 12 runs difference on the base paths. They were plus 8.8. Or was last year just those are the players and this year it's bad coaching?
Yeah.
So I think it's one or the other. Either it's all the players last year and all the players this year, or it's coaching last year and coaching this year. And if it is coaching, then I think that Quattrero has to look in the mirror and figure out what's going on with his team as to why that is allowed to happen. Who's policing the clubhouse? Who's the one saying, hey, Nick, don't ever do that again. That'll never happen again. Or to the point that someone would feel like I can just simply run through the stop sign. Like that just, it's shocking to me. Tex says, one nice thing about Lofton running through the stop sign last night, we now know what Gordon would have looked like if he was sent in Game 7. That's a good text. That's a really good text. And then the conversation would be, how do you send Alex Gordon? Salvi's up next. You had Salvi on deck with an opportunity to drive him. He had no chance of getting to home.
By the way,
he was toast. He was tired. He was out of gas.
By the way, that was my take. Was Salvi versus a lefty in that situation in the playoffs? I was all in on that.
Yes, text says, is Eric Bieniemy doing anything?
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy.
The running game coach for the Royals.
That's right. Hey, he's running back. That's right. Eric Bieniemy, the red ass. He is a hell of a player. I'll say this: when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, you got to stop at third. He is one heck of a player. 913-912-4810. Let's talk a little Chiefs. We'll hear from the Chiefs coming up at 11 o'clock. Matt Nagy, Robert Tunyon, Mike Edwards, Jeffrey Bassa at the podium. Les Norman will join us at noon, breaking the norm. Todd Lebo at 1 o'clock. More texts we'll get into, 913-912-4810. The Chiefs get ready for the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday. 7 o'clock, preseason game number 1. And I know what the playing time is going to be because Andy Reid does the same thing in preseason game number 1. Since there have been 3 preseason games, he's done the same thing all 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 years that there have been only 3 preseason games. So the starters will play a series. Doesn't look like Hollywood's going to play. Hollywood's not practicing again today, so maybe that ankle injury wasn't as
minor.
Minor. Yeah, I was trying to think of like what's the opposite of severe?
Minor.
It wasn't as less severe. Not as minor as maybe it was made out to be a little bit by Jordan Schultz, or at least that was the information he received. Maybe it's not responding a certain way. Maybe they're just like, it doesn't matter, Hollywood. If we put you out there with the ankle injury, something else is going to happen. We're just going to keep you in bubble wrap till week number 1. In fact, you can go to Brazil right now. We'll just meet you down there in Brazil. But, make sure you're not getting in trouble or getting injured. So he's still not practicing. So I don't know that he'll play this week. So it'll still only be we'll still have one play that Hollywood and Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy played together. Maybe next week they'll play a little bit more. But the starters playing a series or more, it's only a series that they play. Josh Simmons, I would like to see him play more. I don't think he's going to. I think he will play the first series, and that's it. But I'd like to see him out there more, especially he and Kingsley on the left side. You are introducing 2 new players on the left side of your offensive line. The preseason game would be a pretty good time to get that together. If Creed Humphrey's not in the game, whatever, Norzad. That's fine. He may have to play this year anyway. Who knows? Hopefully Creed Humphrey plays every single snap. That'd be awesome. But Norzad may have to play. But I don't think that's going to happen. I went back and looked, and I wanted to present this to Sterling. So Kingsley Suamataia, rookie, second-round left tackle. Preseason game number 1 against the Jags. You know how many plays he played.
Yeah, we talked
because
about
we
this,
talked
yeah.
about that already. The
Six.
starting offense played the first series no matter what. The backups came in, including left tackle. So Kingsley Suamataia played 6 plays in preseason game number 1. You are introducing him as a left tackle to the NFL. A guy that, boy, he really needs the reps. A guy that, a project. We'll see how he's coming along. And in that game, by the way, I remember the takeaway was, he looked fine. He looked fine in there. I didn't, because it was only 6 plays. It wasn't the course of an entire game. Preseason game number 2 and preseason game number 3. So all combined, I'm asking you, Sterling, how many snaps in the preseason did Kingsley Suamataia get before they opened the season against the Baltimore Ravens?
So if I remember correctly, it was obviously 6 the first game.
6 the first game.
Second game, I think they played 2 series.
They played 2 or 3 series.
So I'll say he played 14 snaps.
Okay.
So now we're up to 20. And then game 3, I'll say he played 20 snaps. I'll say he played 40 total.
40 total snaps for Kingsley Suamataia is not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. He played 30 total snaps. He played 6 in week 1 and 24 in week 2.
Okay. Wow. So he didn't play in week 3.
The last 2 years, the starters have not played a down in week 3 of the preseason. Apparently, that is without fail across the offensive line no matter what, including rookies that probably need more time in there and more reps with the playbook, getting used to the playbook, getting used to audibles, getting used to what the defense is showing them, getting used to those things. Andy Reid clearly has a formula, by the way, that works in the preseason. They don't do the joint practices that we're seeing this week. Teams during preseason games run the joint practices because those teams don't play their starters really at all during the preseason.
Yeah.
So some of those teams like the Rams, I think, are a team that they don't play starters any of these 3 games, but they do joint practices. And I may be mistaken, but there's multiple teams that do that it's like you won't see the starters at all, but they'll do the joint practices and they'll get ready for the game, week number 1. Andy Reid's the exact opposite. He plays his starters in these games and doesn't do the joint practices. But he doesn't play them in week 3. I don't think he will deviate from that plan. But I would really like to see Simmons and Kingsley together if they're going to start week 1 against the Chargers and move forward as the left side of the offensive line. I think it'd be pretty beneficial to get those guys more than 30 snaps in 3 games in the preseason before Josh Simmons gets out there. If you believe his knee is fully healthy, then there's no reason to hold him back.
Yeah.
If his knee is fully healthy. Now, if you were still nursing him along, no reason to do that, But get him out there and play. I'd like to see them play more snaps. I don't think that's going to be the case. But 30 snaps was a surprise to me for Kingsley Suamataia because I guess I didn't remember that no matter what, when the starters came out, so did Kingsley.
Yeah, I would like to see the offensive line specifically. If you are a youngster, you stay in there. Yeah. I get quarterback. I get defense to an extent because if you're a linebacker and you're in a lot of these plays, a larger chance for injury like Jeffrey Bassa, I understand. Well, he's a rookie, though. You have to play someone. You have to play.
Yeah, I don't need, in week 3,
Bolton.
I don't need Bolton and Chanel and Tranquil out there playing. I don't need Chris Jones or Minihue or those guys out there. I would like to see Gelati and Omar Norman Lott and those guys out there playing a lot in week 2, playing a Norman Lott in week 2 and 3. And I would like to see Kingsley and Josh Simmons playing more this preseason than we got from Kingsley last year.
Yeah, I'd be very intrigued to see if Andy Reid's philosophy changes based on what we saw last year with Kingsley.
We have the evidence of Kingsley last year, right?
And Andy seems to be a guy who doesn't always love adjusting, as is evidenced by training camp still in St. Joe. But I I am, I guess, maybe optimistic that he will this year. Maybe even especially Kingsley at left guard. Maybe we'll see that. Even,
good call.
But I'd like to see it.
Yeah. I think we'll get a pretty how about this? If we're wondering about the camp battle, because last year we were wondering about the camp battle at left tackle, and it was Kingsley and Wanya Morris. But Wanya was battling the knee injury too. So Kingsley was in there with the starters and came out. So there really wasn't a takeaway as in like, oh, maybe there's not a battle at all. Because it's like, well, you're going up against a guy that's nursing a knee, so he's not going to be in there, really battling with you. You're going to view him as a starter, right? Kingsley. We would know over the next couple of weeks who the starting left guard is going to be. I know that on the depth chart he's the starting left guard. But if he plays the first series and is pulled, Kingsley, with the rest of the starters on the offensive line, and then next week plays the 2 series and is pulled, then there is no competition. Kingsley is your left guard unless injury, because I wouldn't expect him to play in week 3.
Correct.
That's not what has happened the last couple of years. There might be a change this year. I don't know. 3 years ago, he played the starters 2 series in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wonder, they played, I don't know what the circumstances were surrounding that. It was only year 2 of the 3 preseason games, so maybe Andy was still figuring things out along the way, the right way of going about it. But the last 2 years, the starters have sat the 3rd preseason game, which sucks because that's the only home preseason game for the Chiefs, is the one that the starters traditionally, the last 2 years, have not played in. So we'll see. But I would like to see more reps for Simmons and Kingsley on Saturday than what Kingsley got last year, because we found out that he had a welcome to the NFL moment, and he was only for 7 quarters away from his left tackle career being over. 30 snaps in the preseason, 7 quarters later, you're gone. He was treated like an actual starter, like a veteran starter in weeks 1, 2, and 3 of the preseason, and then he was just pulled after 3 quarters of week 2, after Trey Hendrickson embarrassed him. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next. Hey, man, if you're out there in your 30s, 40s, 50s, older, I don't know, maybe younger as well, and you have questions about your testosterone level, well, Heartland Men's Health can help you. I have been wondering for like a decade. I wonder what my testosterone level is. Never got it checked. Didn't think that was that big of a deal. Then finally, all right, man, I'm in my mid-40s. Let me go and check. Lower than what I thought it was. And I got to play the little game of guess your testosterone level, and I would have been out on Price is Right because I had gone over. You can find out what your testosterone level is 30 minutes after your consultation appointment with Heartland Men's Health starts. They'll do your lab work, have your results within a half hour, and then a licensed medical provider will review your results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team about whether or not testosterone replacement therapy is right for you. You can be back to having some of those ways of life that you enjoyed in your 20s and maybe your 30s, of energy levels, going to the gym, motivation to go to the gym. Brain fog was something I was dealing with. Didn't know what it was, but certainly when they described the symptoms, I'm like, yeah, that's it. And all of those things have been alleviated with Heartland Men's Health. Cost of the appointment is only $99. That includes a medical consult, T, and that PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. You could be back to higher energy levels, better gains in the gym, sleeping better, waking up feeling more refreshed, all of those things with Heartland Men's Health. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area, 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. All right, we'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs in just a little bit. Heading up to St. Joe. 913-912-4810 is the text line. Text says, why did they all of a sudden start being awful at running the base paths? Running around the base paths. Season has been atrocious. It has been it's been a rough season from that standpoint. Text says, it isn't just Rave, though. Bobby hasn't exactly been Bobby baseball this season either.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an entire season of frustration is what it's been, and that's unfortunate. Could be worse. Right now, the sky is falling in New York.
Oh, my gosh. I've not seen that. Is
Yeah.
that on the major news networks?
It's all over the news. People should check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We're about to sign off the air here. It's War of the Worlds.
Oh,
It's
okay.
warning, this is, just a play on words. It's a figure of speech. Sky is falling. Devin Williams blew another game last night.
Yeah.
The Yankees bullpen has been collapsing. They've
Jock
lost.
Peterson, right? Was he the one, the guy
Yeah.
hitting 132, whatever it was, at a bomb?
Did you
pinch
see
hit?
Did you see his reaction after he hit it?
No.
He flipped the bat, looked to the dugout, and said, "Don't bleep with me. Don't bleep with me." Like, well, you were pinch hitting for a reason. You were starting the game,
Wow.
But he smoked it though. And as soon as he hit it, it's like, all right, that thing's gone. Don't bleep with me.
I did see Stanton's home run, which was one of the most
Stantonian.
impressive home runs.
But Mike Vaccaro for the New York Post. How about this? You want to talk about what's going on in New York right now? Because Devin Williams, our pet peeve. Devin Williams, well, that one pitch got me to Jock Peterson. Mike Vaccaro's column is, the only thing these Yankees are starting to do best is lose. And his lead-in is, Devin Williams said he only threw one pitch that hurt me. Yeah, and the captain of the Titanic only hit one iceberg. It's rough in New York right now. So, yes, it ain't the most fun baseball season here in Kansas City. We got the Chiefs, though. New York, they got the Yankees, and they went and bought and bought and bought, and all they have done is lose and lose and lose since the deadline. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We will hear from Matt Nagy, Robert Tunyon, Mike Edwards, and Jeffrey Bassa. Man, I'm pumped about Jeffrey Bassa, I'll be honest. That has been one of my since draft crushes. We'll see if it turns out to be anything, but I am maybe unreasonably excited about Jeffrey Bassa, what he can do for the Kansas City Chiefs. He may end up being Dorian O'Daniel Part 2. But, look, I'll be honest, too. I think it's shaded a little bit by the fact that it's a free draft pick from the greatest GM that ever lived in the history of any sport. Greatest GM in any sport, Howie Roseman. Giving the Chiefs a free draft pick to move up one spot and take a guy the Chiefs weren't going to take anyway. Just giving him a fifth rounder, and the Chiefs got Jeffrey Bassa out of it. I hope he turns out to be a Hall of Famer.
I hope he's better than Jahad Campbell.
Jahad Campbell. I hope Josh Simmons and Jeffrey Bassa are Hall of Famers in this draft for a lot of reasons. But you trade back one spot and still get the guy you wanted anyway. And the Eagles trade up one spot. It's just so amazing, like how I can't get around the commentary around that. Like I don't know that I'll ever be able to get around the commentary around that at the time. Howie Roseman trades up to number 31 from 32 to get the guy they want, and it's viewed as Howie does it again. He goes and gets his guy. He wanted him. That's why he's the best GM in football out there. He moved up. He wasn't going to let anything else happen. He went and got his guy. They've got the draft picks, the capital to do that, so they moved up a spot. And they got Jahad Campbell. Let's talk about how great this pick is and how he does it again. Not one mention of, well, Brett Veach does it again. He got extra draft picks. He traded back. Or, he traded with the Bills to get Xavier Worthy, traded ahead of the Bills to get Trent McDuffie when they had to trade up. Remember, after the Chiefs traded up to get McDuffie, the Bills traded up to get Kyer Elam, because they didn't want anybody else trading ahead of them to get the other cornerback they wanted. That's how bad that was. They traded up to get Kyer Elam. That's how much the Chiefs schooled the Bills on going and getting Trent McDuffie. And then, of course, we know about the Patrick Mahomes trade as well. That was John Dorsey. We know all of that. But he trades back one spot, gets a fifth rounder, and takes Jeffrey Bassa. So, I don't know. I'm unreasonably excited about that for a number of different reasons there. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll hear from Jeffrey Bassa today. I'm just excited. I'm going to get a Bassa jersey. I don't know. I'm Bossa Nova about this guy. You know what I mean?
I want to see glimpses because next year could be the year that he takes over.
Yeah, Drew Tranquill.
With Drew Tranquill. So
I mean, heck, if this back doesn't turn out, I hate hearing that somebody's got a back injury. And Drew Tranquill, he's still sitting. Since he left practice early the other day, he hasn't practiced since with the back. So
that means he's probably going to be out for
another few. He won't be playing this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play week 1. By the way, we have news in the NFL. Came down about 10 minutes ago or so. It's interesting. We were talking about the first segment of the show today. We were just discussing different things going on and mentioned that Hard Knocks starting with the Buffalo Bills, and one of the storylines could be the James Cook contract situation. It got a little clearer today. Kyron Williams signs a contract, 3 years, $33 million with the Rams, $23 million guaranteed. That was the contract that it felt like the Bills and James Cook's agents were waiting to get done before they really got down to the nuts and bolts, the T's and the I's, and all of the particulars and specifics of their contract, that maybe there was a parameter of some things, and they wanted to see what Kyron Williams was getting. Probably because they wanted to, James Cook's agents wanted to go more than the $11 million per year and $23 million guaranteed over 3 years. So it might be 11.5 for Cook or 12. So 3 years, $36 million, 26 guaranteed, 1 more year, $1 more million guaranteed per year. So 3 years, 36 with 26 guaranteed for James Cook. Could be the case. We'll see. But that's certainly something to keep an eye on, because when you've got unhappy campers in training camp, it can start to affect other people around you. And James Cook has not been happy. And by the way, I like James Cook. I don't like him when he plays the Chiefs because he's damn good. But I like James Cook that after the game was over, remember we played this clip, that he was on a podcast on like Wednesday or Thursday after that AFC Championship game was over. And he was asked about the officials. And his line was essentially, that's BS. We had 4 quarters to play that game. We had a lot of plays that we could have made in that. It ain't the officials. It doesn't come down to the refs. And if it comes down to the refs, then your fault. He didn't say that at the podium. He said that on a podcast with friends.
Yeah.
That you can get pretty candid. That's when we hear the guys typically get pretty candid.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't say it at the podium after the game. Like, you know what? I respect the hell out of that. That we had 4 quarters to get that thing done. Also, we were down, 21-3 in the second quarter before they got that touchdown to Mac Hollins that shouldn't have been a touchdown because the refs always give the benefit of the doubt to the Bills, and Deion Dawkins had a false start, and they didn't call it because they never call it on the Bills.
So when I look at the contracts for running backs in the NFL, it's 2 guys that are way ahead. It's Saquon, over $20 million per year. McCaffrey with 19, Henry with 15, Jonathan Taylor with 14. I think those are about the 4 veterans, right? Not on rookie contracts that we'd all agree with. Again, non-rookie contract guys. Then you get to Alvin Kamara at 12.2, Josh Jacobs at 12, Aaron Jones 10, Joe Mixon just under 10, James Conner 9.5, David Montgomery 9.1, Ramondre Stevenson at 9. I mean, I don't know where James Cook. What's the number that fits in?
Yeah, it's interesting. Because you're right with the $11 million that puts Kyron Williams as the 7th highest paid annual average value for running backs.
And we know he's not
Josh
as
Jacobs.
Good as Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs.
Well, look at the contracts this offseason. So the contracts that were signed this year, Saquon Barkley got his extension, and so he's making $21 million per.
Yeah.
Well, James Cook ain't Saquon. You've got signed this year Derrick Henry. He's making $15 million per year. Well, James Cook ain't Derrick Henry either. He's younger. He's not a 31-year-old Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry is
even
better.
At 31.
Yeah, even at 31 is better. So you've got 2 years, $30 million, and then you've got Aaron Jones that signed his contract 2 for $20. So $10 million. So James Cook will probably be there somewhere between $10 and $15 million because that's Kyron Williams coming in at 11. So maybe it's 12 and a half for James Cook.
Yeah, I'd say
Depending on
12.
what he wants. I mean, but if the Bills scoff at that, then we're in a standoff, and we've seen that happen in Cincinnati with T. Higgins being franchised a couple of years in a row. And we'll see what happens with James Cook, who's still under contract. So this is not obviously still under contract, but, he's not playing on the franchise tag. He's got the last year of his contract, and then they can franchise him. So they've got the power over James Cook because running back franchise tag numbers, what's the franchise tag number for running backs next year? Let me look it up real quick. Tag 2026.
Well, Saquon and McCaffrey are going to really bolster that thing.
Yeah, but it's going to be the average, though. 2026 running backs are $14 million for franchise tag. So that would be paying him $14 million next year. And what is James Cook making this year?
Oh, it's like 1 point something.
Okay. So James Cook is...
I believe so. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
1.4.
Okay. So $1.4 million this year for James Cook. No, he's 2025. He's making the cash.
I'm at 1.5.
So its base salary is $5.2 million this year.
I'm on. Oh, wait.
Did he get an escalator because of?
I'm on over the cap.
Yeah, I'm on Spot Track. Has him at $5.3 million base salary.
Yeah, I don't know if there was something in there that over the cap doesn't have or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so the third tier 2025 is the proven performance escalator.
So, yeah, okay.
It's what Trey Smith got. So that's why Trey Smith's 6th round, 4th year was like, oh, this is much nicer than a regular 4th year contract for a player.
So then let's say it's 5 and...
So he's making $5.3 million this year. So 5.3 plus 14 next year puts him at $19 million. So they can say, well, we've got you 2 years. We're going to pay you $19 million rather than give you 3 years of 26. So we've got 2 more years with you. And then that 3rd year, maybe we, would lose money out of it, but we're getting the prime for you for a couple of years at, $19 million. You're going to be 26 and 27 years old, and we're going to use the hell out of you the next couple of years. Or you can agree to this contract and get $30 million guaranteed over 3 years.
Yeah.
So
running back's tough, man.
Yeah.
It
you want
is
$30
tough.
million guaranteed for the next 3 years? Although I don't know that would be the case because, again, you're looking at only $23 million guaranteed for Kyron Williams. So, yeah, I just – the practical guarantees, yeah, it's not going to be $30 million because practical guaranteed for Saquon Barkley is $36 million. So, $23 million. So, what the case would be, all right, James Cook, you want to sign 3 years right now for $27 million guaranteed, or the next 2 years you're going to 2 years, $19 million. You're going to get 5.3 this year, and you're going to get 14 next year. So you're looking at 19 and change over the next 2 years, and then you'll be a free agent. At that point, you're like, okay. Now it's not fully guaranteed though. You sign on the dotted line. The only thing he's guaranteed right now is the $5.3 million. That's what he's guaranteed right now. And so after this year, he's not guaranteed the $14 million. If he has a devastating injury, it might be zero. Because like you talk about, running back's a tough spot. So is the bird in the hand worth it to say, I sign on the dotted line right now, I get $26 million in my career. And I've made 7 total in my career. I'm going to make 26 now, I know for a fact. There you go. Life-changing, wealth, family, lineage-changing money. I'm good. I'll sign it. 3 years, $26 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I think the answer would be yes. Although you do look at some of these veteran running backs, they've done a decent job hanging on. I mean, James Conner's been pretty darn solid, and he's getting $9.5 million per year. Ramondre Stevenson's somewhat fallen off, but he's still getting $9 million. DeAndre Swift is no longer even really a guy, and he had that $24 million overall contract with $8 million this year. Tony Pollard was a bad signing by the Titans this year, and I love Tony Pollard, but he's 7.25. And Jalen Warren at 5 for a change of pace guy. You're seeing some of these veterans really stick around. The Najee Harris, after his first-round rookie contract, he signed that 1 year, $5 million deal with the Chargers. It's just the running back market is so fascinating how it's really played out over the past few years. You're starting to see it inflate a little bit back up.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Still down.
We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. The practice running a little long, which is all good. Padded practice today. So, it's a Tuesday. So some of those last week, Tuesday was that long 2.5-hour padded practice. So they got that going on. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back on the other side. We'll be heading to St. Joe to hear Matt Nagy, Robert Tunyon, Mike Edwards, Jeffrey Bossa. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, and the Drake, heading up till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
2 of the
Two
clock.
in the we're going to go up until 2 in the o'clock today, and then we're going to hand it off to the program and the Seren Petro and the Kadog at 2 in the o'clock.
The o'clock, baby.
Yeah, like what was the spoof on the Top Gun movies with Charlie Sheen that they did? Those were I enjoy some of those spoof movies that are there. And they were getting ready to, they were talking about, the captain was telling him what time the meeting was the next day. He's like, and we're going to meet here at 7:30. It's like, I don't know why, but that makes me laugh.
I did watch a Steve Martin movie last night.
Oh, yeah?
And it might be for Rotten Tomatoes, but
Okay, well, let me look it up now.
Father of the Bride.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I let the wife choose because I chose Happy Gilmore 2, and that was a big mistake. That movie was
a big mistake.
buns.
Has she seen Happy Gilmore 1?
No.
Well, then it was probably buns for her.
Yeah, she was.
She was very upset about that.
Yeah, that was.
Father of the Bride, the one with no honk, tell Frank.
Yes, that one. That one got me. That line, the honk and Frank part was pretty enjoyable. But for like a rom-com, I enjoyed it. I'll give my wife credit.
Yes.
Her movie was a better pick than mine.
Right, but it's but again, if she has not seen Happy Gilmore 1, then there was no reason for her to
And it was
watch
2 hours. Why was Happy Gilmore 2 2 hours?
Because I got 2 hours of nostalgia, baby. That's what I got, huh?
Happy Gilmore 3 will be 3 hours.
Yes. Let's do it. I'm ready for Happy Gilmore 3. Who's the Chiefs player that's going to star in Happy Gilmore 3? Because right now he's probably a sophomore in high school.
Probably not born
no?
yet.
Yeah, right. It's not sophomore in high school, yeah. No, I think if they do Happy Gilmore 3, it'll probably have to be in the next decade. Because, again, Sandler's getting a little old. All right, he looked much different in this Happy Gilmore than the first one.
Well, that was one of his first
Talk
movies.
about a haul-in-one. He was so thin back then.
That was one of his first movies.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's so if there's a Happy Gilmore 3, it's probably going to be within the next decade or so. So probably.
I hope there's not a Happy Gilmore 3.
I hope there's a Happy Gilmore 5.
Don't-
I hope they make it minimum trilogy.
Don't destroy my childhood.
How would that destroy your childhood? You put your entire
Don't
childhood.
make Waterboy 2.
Your entire childhood is so close to being fractured. It's based on whether or not they're going to have Happy Gilmore 3.
It's up there.
Like
It's close to it.
Like my friend that watched Field of Dreams and was like, you know what? I can't stand the movie because nobody has ever said have a catch. Like at the end, he says have a catch. I'm like, that's so dumb. I'm like, hold on. Ghosts come out of corn throughout the entire movie, and have a catch is the one you're like, nope, that's not believable.
Spoiler alert.
I do hate that.
That's not believable. I can believe the ghosts and you build it and his dad and Moonlight Graham and ease his pain. I can understand all of that.
You play catch.
but
you
have
play
a catch.
catch.
Dad, you want to have a catch? I'm out. This is just not a believable movie.
I'm kind of with him.
No, it's like soda and pop.
People
and
in the
Coke.
Northeast say have a catch.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
And
like soda and pop.
Northeasterners you can't trust.
Well, I don't say soda. I say pop.
You play catch.
You play to win the game.
It's just that simple.
I have I've come around more on that now that I know that different regions have the different dialect that they use. So I had never heard, hey, Dad, do you want to have a catch? Like, I've never heard that before. But also, my issue more would be that they're in Iowa, you know? Iowa should be play catch. Hey, Dad, you want to play some catch? You know? Not have a catch.
I'm just
They're in
going to go
Iowa.
ahead and say it. Your friend is correct. That
No, it's
ruins the
not.
movie.
It does not ruin the movie. There are ghosts out there.
It
right?
went from
The guy
believable.
Walks, the guy walks to gravel, and if he crosses the gravel, he turns into an old man and has to. By the way, I love the movie.
Yeah, it makes
so I'm not
sense.
disparaging the movie.
What do you mean?
but
That is simple physics, my dear Watson.
different movie?
Have a catch. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Gets my goat.
does it? Costner made some odd choices after that one.
I don't know much of his work.
Waterworld,
No.
The Postman,
No.
3,000 Miles to Graceland,
Nope.
Dragonfly.
I feel like you're making these up at this point.
He made some odd choices. But mixed in along the way is the bodyguard and For Love of the Game and Tin Cup. It's just some really,
Cup, yeah.
but it's like odd choice. It's like, here's Waterworld and here's Tin Cup. For Love of the Game, The Postman.
Is that about Karl Malone?
Yes. Speaking of Karl Malone, no. Where's Corey Anderson? That's a throwback, by the way. That's a throwback.
Well, he's in
by the
Utah.
way, he's in Utah with,
Yeah, he's in
unfortunately for
Utah.
him, around Karl Malone. If he still lives there, I'm not sure. That is a throwback. The first year of the show right there.
I don't know.
Of Karl Malone, no.
Corey's in his 40s, so he should be okay.
That's a good point. Yeah, he'd be fine. And that's the speaking of Karl Malone right there. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll hear from Robert Tonyan, who has had a pretty good camp. Like, that's a name that I've been like Tyquan Thornton. I understand he runs fast. They throw the ball down the field. They're trying to do that. So Tyquan Thornton's going to get some run, going to get some love in camp. But like almost everybody that's been covering camp has mentioned Robert Tonyan at least once.
Well, and what's interesting about Robert Tonyan is I don't think he's tight end 4 now. I think he's tight end 3. I think he's pretty firmly on the team at this point.
Feels like it. And then it's Jared Wiley and Briningstool fighting for that fourth one, which probably be Wiley with Briningstool's injury. You could probably just get him through either to the practice squad or put him on IR, designated to return, depending on any other injuries that may take place, knock on wood, along the way over these next couple, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. We're going to hear from Matt Nagy very soon. He is practice is wrapping up, we're told, and he is going to be heading over to the podium in just a second. Here we'll hear from the offensive coordinator, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think a big season for him as far as
big
perception.
season for Matt Nagy? Oh,
Perception-wise, as
well,
far as
call the good plays. Don't let Andy call all the good plays and you call the bad plays. He should start calling more of the good plays.
in fairness, that'd be a bad trade-off. Like, give me the good ones, Andy.
You would think, but it was always Eric Bieniemy and Matt Nagy always call the bad plays. Good plays, clearly Andy Reid. Bad plays, Bieniemy and Matt Nagy are awful. They suck. What an amazing play. Thank you, Andy, for finally calling good plays and not letting Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy handle the play calling of bad plays. It's weird how that happens.
I do think there's a conversation though about Matt Nagy as far as legacy and is this a year where perception of him could change if the offense reverts back?
Yeah. Here's Matt Nagy.
Go ahead. Fire away. Not all at once. Well, we're actually Matt and I are teammates in that game, so it's 2-on-2. So yeah, I think we came in second place that day. So unfortunately, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, he's been carrying it.
What stands out just about what you've seen for him?
Probably the biggest thing is his ability. He came here in the middle of last year, so mentally being able to learn the offense. He's transitioned that now into be able to play fast out of the huddle, and then you get these opportunities to make plays. He's done that. You saw today he had an excellent catch on that. He turned his head and ran a little bit of a corner angle route and made a great snag. And I think there's a lot of trust building right now between him and Pat. He's a smart kid. He does a lot of things the right way. You can tell he's been in this league a little bit, and he has that experience factor to help out these young guys too.
Similar with Tonyan. I mean, he's been here a while and experienced guy. And how much did it help? He was already here.
I think a lot. Very similar is a great example for him. I remember when Bobby was in Green Bay, watching him do some things in Green Bay, and he's an excellent tight end. He does a lot of good things, and so there's a little bit of that savviness that these guys have. They understand what they're doing. Again, Juju's phenomenal at all that stuff. So Bob's done a great job at the tight end spot.
How excited do you find that he is for this year, just considering maybe boosted protection and receivers hopefully being healthy?
He's really excited. He's motivated in the right way. That's just how he is. It's who he is. But he doesn't want to. We spend a lot of time in OTAs going back to the basics on a lot of stuff. We're graduating now to with these wide receivers, working on that timing, and I think you're seeing a trust element with him with several guys. And then you'll get to see some of that too with these guys in the preseason. We'll get some people that stand out, get to show what they can do. But every year we probably say the same thing with Pat, but he creates an own edge for him. He wants to be great. He wants to be the best, and he wants to be coached hard. So that's what we try to do.
say he's not always impressive. Did you sense he hit his stride today? It seemed like he was working different arm angles, downfield, intermediate, that type of thing.
I really felt like today was one of our as a group, and in particular with Pat, one of our better days with those type of throws. Some downfield stuff where the timing element, it wasn't one of those deals where you're scrambling, throwing the ball away and catching a ball off timing. These were all on timing throws, and then guys were making great catches. So I was really pleased with that.
You understand how hard it is to play the quarterback position.
Yeah.
When you're going through those fundamentals in those OTAs, how much of those discussions involve ball placement, accuracy, and how much legs lead to better mental
A lot. And so like you go through the mental part of it as a quarterback, just calling the play right. Then you got to get the splits right, help the guys out on that side of the ball. But then the accuracy part is critical. Being able to have guys that are great with the ball, pinpoint accuracy we talk about all the time. Be friendly to the wide receivers, and then they got to make the catch. But really from the hit down is one focus that we have. Guys have different type of release points, but we want to focus on that timing, hips down with their feet.
It's graduating from getting that timing down with some of the guys. Hollywood's not here, and and he obviously missed a lot of time last year. How do you kind of try to develop that timing and that trust that Pat has with the other guys with Hollywood when he gets back?
Well, it's got to happen quickly when he gets back. I know Hollywood wants to be out here, and he's not. So to your point, you are missing out on that timing. And so I know he's frustrated from last year, but he came in at the end of the year, helped us out. When he gets back, whenever that is, they gotta go full speed and get that down. And I know he's doing everything he can to get back on track. But that timing, man, is so critical, and Hollywood knows that. So he's got to do right now is do everything he can to get back on that field.
We're gonna work our way across the topic.
Matt, when you say that about Patrick wanting to be great, he's obviously been that way a long time. How much do you see that translate into just the burn to win versus necessarily the statistics? They're not unrelated, but I mean, do you feel like when you say that, that's what you mean, the burn to win?
Yeah, that burn to win is at the highest level of probably any player in the NFL. I mean, it's just he's built different that way, and I think when you have that, it goes on to these other players on the team, offense, defense, special teams, to us as coaches. You have that. You want to make sure you're doing everything possible, and then he's a competitor, so every game's going to be close. When you have him on your side, he's going to give you a great chance, and that's where he's at. So when we lost that Super Bowl, it was the very next day he's ready to go, and we just know that it's a great high standard that we all have, and Coach Reed's at the top of that, so it's been good.
You say that just too in the day-to-day, how does it show up the most to you? I know there's a zillion ways, but what shows up the most to you when you say
the
that?
the mental prep side. So we all see what he does out here, whether it's people video and plays on their phones at practice and training camp, but we see it in practice when it's closed to the public. But what a lot of people don't get to see, even that's in the building, is how he prepares. And when he gets locked in, I think about every during the week from usually a Wednesday to a Saturday, every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, he has a routine that he follows. And there's an obsession that he has with being perfect at what he does on the mental side. He doesn't take calling a play for granted, getting the formation right. So he wants to be great at that. And when the guys and his teammates and everybody sees that, it kind of goes on to them as well.
We're going to go last two in the back.
Coach, obviously it's a game week, first one since the Super Bowl. Do you sense that the guys are pretty excited, and then does that change anything for your practice prep and all that?
No change for the practice prep. The excitement is there. These guys are going against each other every day now for the past couple weeks. So they get to go live, which is number one, phenomenal for them. It gets to become real. You get to see some different looks on defense. And then these guys are all competing for spots. It's a great competition. I mean, even when our guys go out there, no matter whether you're Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, or someone towards the bottom end of the roster working for a spot, it's such an important time for these guys. And so we as coaches want to put them in the best position possible by letting them play fast. If we let them play fast, they can show us what they have. So it'll be fun. And we want to go there and try to do everything to win.
Speaking of the competition, you guys have two veterans at right tackle right now, Jalen and Juwan.
Yeah.
I guess, A, how are they handling it? And B, how would you evaluate how it's going?
Handling it great. both true pros. I like what they're doing on tape. Again, Juwan's been here now for a few years, so the mental side of just hearing the cadences and kind of knowing the scheme is great. I love where he's at mentally right now, and he's a competitor. These guys like to compete. It's what they know all their life. And so for both of them to be able to be out there and just compete, I think they're handling it great. So I love where they're at.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. See you.
All right, there's Matt Nagy. A lot of talk about Patrick Mahomes there, and some of the videos that are out there. By the way, Jeffrey Boss is going to be next, but some of the videos out there are some absolute dimes from Patrick Mahomes today. Full padded practice, and Matt Nagy saying that this was one of the better days that they have had with the throws downfield, the accuracy, all of that, the timing. Here's Jeffrey Bossa.
I guess, how's that going on your end, and what does it mean to you, something like that?
Yeah, it means a lot for Coach to come out here and say that about me. Just me dedicated to my grind and the pride that I take in special teams, being out there, being one of the guys that wants to be with the ones and wants to go up against the best competition, right? So for him to say that about me, I truly appreciate him for that. But I would have to say just being a film junkie when it comes to not only defense but special teams as well, so I can learn on how to be the best special teams guy that I can be, right? So yeah, I appreciate him for saying that.
Jeffrey, so how has it been, this round coming in with Nick Bolton and Neil Schnall? What have you kind of learned from them, and how they help you kind of elevate your game?
Yeah, I've learned truthfully a lot from those guys, especially Drew in the mix as well. But so much knowledge and so much game because they've been in the game for such a long time and been in Spags defense for a long time. So for them to spill some knowledge that things that I can improve on or things that they know that I'm not seeing, I take a lot of you kind of have to take a step back and kind of open your eyes and see the bigger picture and what they're trying to say, right? You got to listen to the message, not the tone. So, and I appreciate a lot of those guys for, just spilling some of the knowledge and game that they got to me.
What does stand out to you about the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, overall, it's really a grind. Coach Reed, training camps are no joke, just like people have been saying. So, but you really got to love it to be here. But overall, I think just the physicality that this team got. The guys, especially on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball, we're going to be really good this season. So, it's definitely been a grind.
What about this running defense? Like, what kind of process and study habits do you implement to try and get up to speed there?
Yeah. So if we have a heavy install at night, I like to go back home or go back to the dorm room, I should say, and and study that for about 30 minutes to an hour, kind of just going over my notes. But I take a lot of pride in taking good notes in the film room when coaches are saying corrections, or if he's coaching up another guy on a different technique, then I'm still going to take those notes so I can be the guy that can learn from his example, right? But then as well as being one of the first guys out here when it comes to practice, that's something I've been doing since my freshman year of college. Just always being a guy who just comes out here and working on my craft, whether that's striking blocks, dropping his own coverage. But then when it comes to learning the playbook, that's also coming out here, okay, I got a call sheet. What calls are we going to run against this certain formations right here? Just going through the calls in my head and just getting myself mentally right before practice starts.
Jeffrey, it seemed like Spags was a big fan of yours and kind of maybe wanted them to move up and get you. At least talk to you about that and maybe what you did in the pre-out process to kind of catch his eye.
Yeah, and I really haven't talked too much about that when it came to like moving up to get me, but when a team does move up to get you, it means that they you're higher on their board, or they got a lot of confidence in you and what you could do for their team. So right when I seen that they traded the pick, it means a lot because you're trading either future picks or you're trading picks within that current draft. So but no, I really haven't got to him on that. So.
Defense-wise, what is Spags challenging you role-wise? Where does he see you at?
Really trying to cross-train, so when it comes to a situation where he can get me in at either position, I feel like I've been doing a great job of that as well. Kind of knowing the fact that I'm learning two positions, and now that I'm going to be able to later on in my career learn the back end and learn the full front, right? So I feel like it's going to be a good job and it's going to help me in the long end, but really haven't got too much into second team, third team, or mixing it with the first team. That's not really what I'm worried about right now. Really just worried on fully learning the playbook and being confident enough that the coaches can put me out there with whoever.
Now that you've had some time in defense and everything, how do you feel like what Spags asks of the linebacker really fits your skill set and kind of resonates with what you're best at?
Yeah, first off, it's going to start with communication. You got to be a communicating linebacker in this defense, and that's something I truthfully one of the main things that I take a lot of pride in is being a communicator. Even in my college tape or my college coaches will say that, he's always a communicator. He knows what's going on. He knows what the offense is going to do, right? So now I have to get to the point where I can gain enough confidence in the defense. Okay, now let me start learning the offense a little bit and call out what they're going to do, right? But then communication, but then also being a versatile linebacker. You got to be able to cover and run in this defense and this league, but then you also got to be able to stop the run. So I take a lot of pride in being physical, but then also being a linebacker that you can maybe on third down you can match me up, or you can match me up on a star tight end, or you can have me blitz, and rush the quarterback, right? Or you can have me be a quarterback spy, right? And using my versatility, I like to call myself like a Swiss Army knife in a sense of a way.
Jeffrey, this is going back a little bit to sort of your first weeks, but Nick Bolton watched the rookie camp on video, and I just wonder when you first started engaging with him after that, was he already talking to you about stuff he even saw there? Or, I mean, to what degree did it begin right away with him?
Yeah, it really started off rip. Just like you said, when he watched that tape, it was kind of like, okay, why did you call this? And you could have did this to the front, right? It could have been a small adjustment that I missed, but then that's something that he would have did, right? So now that after I've already watched the tape, now from his corrections, now I can go back and be like, okay, I'm seeing what he's seeing now, right? So little things like that where, it wasn't too much glaring errors, but it was more so just like, okay, you could have did this to the front, or when they motion here, you should bump to this alignment instead of this alignment, right? So just little things like that.
And I know you're just sort of learning it in some ways, but do you feel a certain wavelength with him? Like, did you understand how he thinks and you see it through his eyes a little bit already?
Yeah, for sure. I'm asking him questions all the time, whether that's in the film room or just texting him. On off days, sometimes I know he might get a little bit annoying about me asking him a whole bunch of questions, but that's just me trying to pick his brain. But yeah, I feel like we're on the same page. That's my dog, man. I truly appreciate it.
Last one. You said you're a film junkie. When did has that always been the case, and what does that entail?
Yeah, that's always been the case since college. I've always been a guy who, really since high school, really, when I first started playing football my freshman year of high school, I always was like intrigued into watching, like, I'd go to YouTube and I'd type in like NFL film breakdowns or college film breakdowns of people just talking about, the Chiefs are in this shell. Well, they're trying to dial up the defense and know we're running, but it's really complex. But little things like that is where I really got that film itch for just watching film and breaking down tape. But then in college, when I got to the full point where I fully knew the defense like the back of my hand, okay, now I'm studying offenses and okay, what's the quarterback's read on this concept, or what's the running back's tracks on this type of run, right? And so now that's something that I'm trying to do on the at the elite level or at the professional level, right? So now just really trying to dial in on the full defense, know it like the back of my hand, but then also bump that down to offensively. And then as we head into the season, knowing what the offense is going to do that we're playing that specific week. Outside of camp meetings, if we're in regular season, I like to spend about no specific time limit, but like a couple hours at home where I'm just sitting there quizzing myself or watching the film over and over again. So,
awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there's Jeffrey Bassa, and one of the things that we heard about him in draft time was that he was a worker, and he was going to be as prepared as anybody, and he talks about the communication. He takes pride in communication. One of the first strengths that you see on like the Beast from Brugler and NFL.com, and one of the things that is a constant that they have in common is good communication before the snap. Communicates well before the snap. I mean, the guy, he ain't lying about communication. Here's Robert Tonyan.
I just heard about it from Trav and Noah kind of just over the past couple of years. But to be in it, like experiencing it, we did a little bit of OTAs and that was cool. We had the pads off, but we get in the St. Joe's heat and you get rolling and you're actually out there for 10 straight plays. You feel it, but you're not going to feel anything more game-like than that long drive drill.
How would you evaluate your camp personally? It's going so far.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I feel like this year I've just been trying to get better every day. Like kind of the situation I'm in. Like I said, we have so many plays out there. You're not gonna make every play, but you gotta learn quick and not make the same mistake twice. So I think I'm just doing a good job. If I make a full speed mistake, just next play and try to make a play to kind of get the momentum going in a positive way.
You're one of the few guys who's worked with both Aaron and Patrick.
Yeah.
What are the similarities, but also what are the differences that you see between those two guys?
Yeah, I mean, they can each make every single throw imaginable on the field. And it's kind of funny. You just see, you know, Pat getting better every day as well. Like in 7-on or something like that, he's making those hard throws look easy, and he's becoming more consistent with them. No, but Pat's incredible. I mean, it's great to be in the huddle and, you know, see his command and see him control at the line and make plays and extend plays, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
What stands out to you about that?
Just like he's very confident. He's very like positive, reaffirming. Like even if we're just going through little tight end drills on the side or like running backs, we're running through the pads or whatever. Like he's encouraging us. Like that's just a leader you want. Just like constantly like making noise and being positive and like creating that energy.
Just wondering about your observations about Kelsey and what have you learned about him being here?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Trav for a couple of years, but being here and like seeing how he practices, how he prepares, and you know, maintaining his body. I mean, he's probably has the most snaps amongst any tight end in the last 10, 12 years. You know how far the Chiefs go in the playoffs every year, and obviously the Andy Reid camps. I mean, he's taken a lot of wear and tear, but the way he's able to rejuvenate and get ready for the next day, how much he did the day before, it's pretty incredible. And he practices hard. I mean, I love like just learning from him over the years, like how I was with in Green Bay was just, you see his film and you don't really get it, and then you get to ask him questions and then you see where his mind's at, and it's awesome. But, learning from him and Noah, they're both just two great players, and learning, what Coach Reid likes, what Pat likes, and then just kind of putting, my little flavor on it as well.
Obviously, this tight end room is talented and deep.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, what do you want to show in the preseason game?
Yeah, just that I'm consistent. I'm gonna, make plays. Like I said, I want to get better every day, and then those games are a great opportunity to do so. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep grinding it out. I mean, like I said, like this is an Andy Reid camp, and just keep on grinding, make full speed mistakes, and don't make them twice, and then just make plays and keep grinding.
Robert, is there a certain play when you say like doesn't make sense to me that you can recall, and I guess how wild was it to say like I'm in the NFL, I'm pretty good on my own, and I don't understand what Travis is doing?
Oh, just I mean he's been in the same offense for 13 years, so like he obviously gets where everyone's going to be at. So that is just another step in, like this is my first year in 9 years where I have a new offense. Right. So like me learning not just what I have to do, but also, what was second nature to me that everyone else was doing. Now I got to learn just spatial awareness, where everyone's going to be, why we're doing it, and him anticipating defenses and, knowing what's coming. Not anything specific, but just like constantly learning like how he is, like his pre-snap reads are just very consistent and very on point.
I'm sure you were like, hey, it's going to be fun playing with Patrick Holmes.
Yeah.
Is there an example out here where you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty fun?
Just like I said, like the throws he makes is just, it's incredible. The windows he's fitting them in, and the anticipation, and like I said, the command in the huddle is just awesome. He's super confident in there. I mean, this is year 9 for him as well. So again, like 9 years in this offense and doing it the way he's doing it, commanding it, MVP type caliber, Super Bowl champion. So, yeah, I'm pumped for that.
After being in the league for 9 years, what made Kansas City the right place for you to the next step?
I just wanted to be in a functional spot to give me an opportunity to play my game, and they brought me in the last bit of the season last year, kind of battling something with injury last year, but now I'm fully healthy, and they wanted me to come back, and they were very eager, like early on in free agency. So I was just excited to take the opportunity, learn from Trav and Noah, and this offense is incredible. You get the tight ends involved, you're pushing the ball down the field, great run scheme. So I'm excited to be a part of it, and a Super Bowl opportunity every year.
Thank you.
All right, there's Robert Tonyan, a guy that probably easy to root for with his backstory of lightly recruited out of high school, went to FCS in Indiana State. Oddly enough, like Travis Kelce, went there to play quarterback and turned into a tight end. Undrafted, cut his first training camp with the Lions after signing with the Lions after going undrafted, and now he's made $13 million in his career. Here's Mike Edwards.
Just being in the right place, the right time, hitting on my keys, and just trying to make plays, be around the ball as much as possible. That's kind of make a living for how I made a living for being in the league, just being around the ball. So that's what I plan on doing this year.
Like maybe a little bit similar answer, but the interception today, was that kind of what fits that description, or what did you see on that?
Yeah, tips and overthrows, kind of read my keys, and seeing Pat load up, and I kind of expected the overthrown ball, which it did, and I just caught it, had to come up with it, so good play.
What made you excited to return to the Chiefs after the year, right?
I'm sorry,
What made you excited to return to the Chiefs?
I mean, look at the organization. Anybody be excited to play for this organization, so anytime I get a chance to play for here, I loved it. My 1 year I was here. Sadly enough, I had to go away. I went away, but glad to be back. And like I said, it's a big thing being part of the Chiefs. So I love to be here.
How impressed have you been with the younger safeties in the room?
I'm sorry, what you say?
How impressed have you been with the younger?
Oh, we're really good. I didn't play with Jayden last year, but just coming in the room, seeing him in person, he's going to be a hell of a player. Young guys like the rookies, Glenn Miller been stepping up pretty well, playing pretty well. So I'm kind of the older buck in the room now, but I feel like everybody's coming along pretty well, communication and everything, and we're just coming along, and it's going to be a great safety group right here.
Mike, what's it like down that house round?
How does that affect LeBron's legacy?
What's that?
Coach House, he's a great guy. I had him. He's my defense coordinator in Kentucky in college, so we had good history. That was one of my favorite coaches I ever had, any level. So him being part of being my safety coach, I mean, it's amazing. I can't ask for anybody else. So he's doing really well. I learned a lot from him. Still learning from him. So it's a great guy to have in our room.
Mike, because you came back the second time, do you appreciate the long drive drill more, or do you just dread it more because you know what it's like?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I feel like the second time around, you kind of know what to expect. So it's not. I won't say it's not as hard because it's gonna be hard, but you kind of know what to expect. So it's not as challenging, I guess, but it's still tough.
All right, we'll do 3 more questions.
Like you mentioned, being the old guy in the room. Last time you were here, Justin was here. How different is the room a little bit? And, you know, you probably have some new faces, but how much are you taking a leadership role in that room?
Yeah, I mean, Jay Reed was that guy. You know, communication, everything, vocal leadership, leading by example. Definitely miss him, but I'm trying to take on that role now, wherever they may be, trying to take on a leadership role. So, you know, I feel like everybody can be a leader in that room, but being an older guy, being a vet, try to take on that role. So help out the young guys as much as possible. Man, they call me everything. Old head, Unc, OG, everything. I'm like, damn, I'm not even 30 yet.
Well, like a game week, you know, taking on the Cardinals, or the guys excited to kind of get out there and play a game and all that?
Oh, yeah. It's always good to play against other guys. You know, we don't have joint practice here, so definitely feel like everybody's kind of itching to play against another team and getting that real live action, so it'll be fun.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, there's the old man, Mike Edwards, at a very old 29 years old. 29 years old. Old head, Unc, OG. But we're all trying to figure out, how does that affect LeBron's legacy? More's on next. All right, wrapping up this hour, we will hang out with Les Norman coming up at noon in the next segment for the next hour. Get his thoughts on some Royals conversation. Mike Edwards returning to the Kansas City Chiefs, spending a year away. They didn't win a Super Bowl without Mike Edwards. All I'm saying, every time Mike Edwards has played for the Chiefs, they win a Super Bowl. Every time. That's an indisputable fact.
Fact.
That's a fact. That you can use that as fact or fiction.
Well, good. I need my bonus. I still need my tiebreaker.
Mike Edwards, every time he plays for the Chiefs, fact or fiction. We'll do that on the other side with our bonus. That wouldn't make for a good bonus question because everybody would get it. Would not be a good one. I don't think so.
So then it'd be right in line with my typical.
Good call. Good call. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Les Norman next. All right, hanging out with Les Norman. Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Les, what's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
Oh, doing fantastic,
Tuesday.
man. Yeah.
I'm
It's a good
doing
day.
fine.
Just fine.
He's doing
Fine.
okay. He's doing okay. He's doing okay.
The Royals lost. I'm angry.
That's a rough
dumbassery.
It's a long season. If every time they lose, you're going to get angry. You're going to get angry at minimum probably 60 times.
And I was thrilled the other night, okay?
I knoweth what he speaketh of.
Yes.
The dumbassery on the base paths has wrath coming from me.
Spewing forth of
apparently
anger and frustration.
Bill Shakespeare over there is presenting it that way. Just apparently Sterling is not happy.
Yeah. I wasn't either, but
I was not
that
either.
bad.
Yeah, I was not either. I had my take in the first segment about it. And well, I'll just throw it out there for you. What did you make last night? The Royals lose the game 8-5. It wasn't what cost them the game, because Vinny coming up could have popped up or hit a ground ball. Could have hit a home run too.
Yeah.
But also they were down 8-1 in the 8th inning, so that's those things sort of add up. Don't be down 7 runs, and then that one play doesn't kill you. But what did you make of that play? And hearing Quatrero saying that he ran through a stop sign, Nick Lofton saying that he ran through a stop sign. What do you make of what we saw in that situation specific?
Yeah, it's. I like the fact that Q said what he said, and he's not going to go irate live. And he said he talked to him in the dugout, which is exactly what should have happened. I do like the fact that Lofton owned up to it. He was accountable. Hey, I can't make that mistake. This is what I did. I had my head down, and by this time it was too late, and I ran through it. Well, if you look up and know he's pointing, then you don't just he made a decision to keep going, even in that moment. It's frustrating in the sense that since the All-Star break, the Royals are scoring more runs. It is difficult that they're playing against the hottest team in baseball right now. I mean, they've won. That was their 6th win in a row.
Yeah.
I think I think there's maybe one more team that's won 4, maybe. I can't remember the exact team, but there's a lot of teams in the big leagues right now, especially in the American leagues, that are on 1 or 2 game win streaks, but not 6. 6 is the most, and so it's the Red Sox. They're hot right now. And so with the Royals offense, with giving up 5 runs in Boston in the first inning from Falter, that's a tough hole to climb out of against good teams that are hot. So I think that was the frustrating part. But again, you can't say the whole game was Nick Lofton because, again, you gave up 5 runs in the first inning. And it wasn't necessarily that Falter's this stinky dude that they brought up from AAA. I mean, he made some tough pitches, but then the innings later, he actually pitched pretty well. So it wasn't that bad. But the one thing that does frustrate me is that you have to know your situation before Bobby gets that hit. You have to know the situation once you're safe at that base. And let's also understand, too, the problem I also have is that Lofton, for a second, pimped that hit a little bit. He did a little bit. He stood there and watched it just a little bit because he thought it was gone. And as long as that ball was in the air and as high as it hit off the wall, he probably could have been standing at second base. Now, they weren't going to get him because he can run a little bit, but he had to really hustle and slide between first and second just to make sure. And so if you want to pimp it from second to home, make sure that ball goes out if you're going to think, oh, I just hit a home run. So if you take that kind of thinking and then the play that happened, that to me is that you're not in the game as much as you should be, and that's where I'm frustrated.
Yeah, the knowing the situation before. I mean, that's something that is just understood sort of at the big league level.
Know who's on deck.
Know who's on deck. Know, like, looking around. Anytime they show somebody at second base before the pitch, you see guys looking around all the time. They're not looking and gazing and seeing the crowd. They're looking around. There's center field. There's left field. All right, right field's there. So I have an idea.
Every pitch.
I mean, every single pitch, right, where it's supposed to be. And the scout on the Red Sox, everybody in that Royals dugout and clubhouse knows Abreu's got a rocket in right field. So we're probably not going to test him.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to push it against him. So Nick Lofton, all right, I got 2 outs. We're down by 3. Bobby's up. Vinny hit a home run already this inning. We're working to come back. They're on their 3rd reliever. We're rolling here. I'm at second. Line drive from Bobby. That thing was smoked to right field and rocket in right field with an
Good arm. And you got to know that in the scouting report who's playing defense.
No chance I make it home.
Right.
I'm toast if I try to make it home. And not only that, Nick Lofton hadn't even got to third. They showed the view from behind home plate for the entire field. I like to call it the all-22, like we do in football. And Nick Lofton,
all 11.
So 1, 2, 3.
Who was on base? 13.
4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All essentials.
Yes. The all 12. And Wilson is pointing at third before Nick Lofton gets to third. It wasn't like a late, like, whoa, hold on, now stop.
Right.
It was a pointing to third. He sees Nick Lofton running. He's actually taking a few steps towards home, still pointing at third, like, hey, stay. And
he didn't take a good route round in third either.
Yeah, that to me was just Nick Lofton saying, I'm going to go. I'm going. I'm going to try to score.
No matter
here.
what.
Yeah, I'm going to try to score. And he said that I was, had my head down. I'm running like I always do with 2 outs to try to score. Like, no, come on, man.
No.
Because then every time you're at second base with 2 outs, you would have run. Then I need to look back and see if you've ever been held at third with 2 outs on a single to the outfield. Like, that was just somebody that was like, I'm going to run.
Know your outfielder. Know the score. Know who's coming up. Know what inning it's in. All those things you have to know. If you're paying attention the whole time, which you should be, you have to know. So, again, quick rewind. That did not cost the Royals the game overall, but obviously it destroyed their chances to continue mounting that comeback. The odds were against them passing up because then Boston would have been able to come up again. But, we've got a pretty good setup and closer on our own. But still, that's a situation that can't happen because when you're in the middle of your order coming up, and Vinny, who even though he already hit a home run, doesn't mean he can't do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, you just never know. Or just get a single and 1 or 2 run score, and then you're still in it, and then Salvy's coming up.
Right, because then you're a swing away from tying it. Like, if he gets a couple of runs there, okay, then you're a swing away from tying it up as opposed to now Vinny's coming up down 3 with nobody on base.
Yeah.
So he can get a hold of 1 and it's still down by 2.
Yeah.
At that point.
I do like the fact, though, that the Royals are mounting comebacks. They scored some runs late by winning the Toronto series. Since the All-Star break, you've seen a couple 8 runs. You've seen a 7 run, I think a 10 run in there, or a 9 mixed in. So it looks a lot different. I feel like it's still a little too late, but it's something good that you can see the offense coming to life a little bit.
Yeah, they've averaged, since the All-Star break, 5.5 runs per game, which is 2.2 runs more per game than they were averaging before.
Yeah.
3.3 is what they were averaging on the season. Oh, wow. And now they're at 5.5 since the All-Star break. Since July 1, it's 4.8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it hasn't just been these, games since the All-Star break. But my frustration sort of boiled over in the first segment that it wasn't just that play. Like, it feels like this is something, and I don't know if it's an undisciplined feel for the team this year, what the difference is this year from last year, but these mistakes were not made by the team last year.
Yeah.
And they would find a way to, I mean, it was like there's a guy at third, less than 2 outs, he was scoring. There was somebody on and somebody's job was to get him over, they got him over. That's not dumb base running mistakes. And this year, it's been inability to sacrifice guys over, situational awareness, outs on the base paths, the toot lands, running through a stop sign and sort of being a hero type deal, not running to second on the double. Isbell in the extra innings, it was a great hit against the Blue Jays, but the guy in right field falls and the ball gets past him, and Isbell sliding into second and jumping up to look at the dugout, and the ball's rolling away from the right fielder, and he's stuck at second. He ends up scoring. Thank goodness he ends up scoring.
Doesn't matter, though.
Right, but
should have scored from third.
Right, but those are the things that have sort of added up. What is that? Is that just it's baseball, and over the course of 162 we see them more because they're losing, or is there really something to this team was in the playoffs last year and they weren't making those mistakes? This team is a game under 500, 4 games out, and they have been making those mistakes.
Well, I don't think that they're a game under 500 because they're making those mistakes. I think they're making those mistakes because they're game under 500.
So they're pressing?
It's not just a pressure. It's easy to get in this mode of, well, we're only 500. And so your mind, sometimes without you even realizing it, your mind starts to back off the concentration level a little bit. I mean, look, you're a big league player. You're getting paid a lot of money to play this game. When the minimum salary is over $700,000, I think that you're getting paid enough money to pay attention every play, every game. At last night the game was at 6:10. At 9:10, you can go ahead and relax a little bit. Have your spread, whatever you do after the game, go get a good night's sleep. Then you can relax, watch a movie, whatever you do. But this game at that level needs to be played at 100%, not just physical. This game is not just a physical game. There's so much mental to it, and it's not about whether they don't decide to not pay attention. You have to train your mind to pay attention just as much as you have to train your body to be able to compete against the best in the world. And so if you let one part of your game down, those are the kind of things that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, if I'm diving into second, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying if I'm diving into second and the ball is not right on me and I don't know where the ball is, I find the ball, and then when the ball's secure and I can't go any further, then I'll go ahead and do the celebration, point at my dugout, whatever it is they do. But when you don't know where the ball is and you just assume and you could have taken an extra base. I mean, Yastrzemski could have very easily checked in with a double when Duran booted that ball, kicked that ball back up toward third base.
Good call.
Paid attention the entire time and ran to third, where he didn't even have to slide to third.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Duran was lazy. It was just he kind of just picked his head up a little bit. It was more of a physical error.
But he also forced the issue when Duran went to get it after booting it because it got away from him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, he's going to third. I got to pick it up quickly, and then it got away.
Right.
It was almost like, oh my God, can he score from third? It was, but forcing the issue and putting the pressure on them, which by the way they did in the Toronto series a number of times because Toronto's a good defensive team. And they had a few snowball fights.
Yeah.
Toronto did on defense when the Royals were out there. So they've done it before.
Yep.
It just feels like it's come back to bite them and haunt them in some of these close games.
Yeah, and I remember one of the first things I learned immediately signing that contract and turning pro when I had my first outfield work. I think it was Tom Poquette, who was our manager, former Red Sox and Royals outfielder. And he used to always say, if you want to be aggressive in the base paths, which we do, you make the outfielder stop you. You know what I mean? You don't automatically just assume anything because that's when they boot the ball. You keep running. I mean, you don't overly aggressive where you get thrown behind you, picked off, or just run into a base. But there is a line where you make them stop you and you make them play because on this inning, if I hit a single that's kind of into the gap and I'm probably not going to get a double, but I may take a 1/3 of the way turn toward the base, and now they know. Now they know that I'm willing. So the next time I maybe hit a ball there, it might be later in the season. It might be that same game. But now they're going to press a little bit, and they're going to come up, and they're going to boot that. I mean, Tom Goodwin was so good at that. And I think I've told this story before, but I remember in a game against the Yankees in the mid-'90s, Tom Goodwin hit a high chopper up the middle for a single. Bernie Williams was playing center field. Bernie Williams picked the ball up, looked up, and Tom Goodwin was sliding into second base. It was a single to center. But and Goodwin was one of the fastest guys, but still. So the next time up, Goody hits a ground ball to center field. Bernie Williams is sprinting in, and then when he came up to bobble it, because then guys tend to look a little bit, they want to hurry, they want to rush before they get the ball secured, and then they can make a mistake a little bit. So you can wreak havoc on the base pass when you do that, but when you go the opposite way, it's embarrassing. It's mental weakness. And you need to correct that, especially in the dog days of the year in August and September. You have to really work extra hard to be mentally strong.
What was the line of Tom Goodwin had two speeds? It was something like, there he goes and there he went, or something like that. Or he's going and there he went. Those are the two speeds for Tom Goodwin.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but he was fast. That's a great story about, bouncing up the middle and then he's at second base. Bobby does that. Bobby forces the issue. Bobby forces the middle or the infielders to have to field it quicker and have more of a sense of urgency when they're fielding, pulling it up and stepping to throw, which can cause an error or cause an errant throw because, when Bobby hits it, he's going to make it close down the first base. He's not going to dog it. And it's helped him a couple times. There's been a couple times where it's helped him. Not all the time, but every single time he's doing that, and even the hits to the gap and things like Bobby can take it to second.
I think Maikel Garcia is also very good at that. Maikel Garcia did it in the Braves series as well. I don't know if that was part of it because Ronald Acuna, his cousin's in the outfield or not, but I feel like Garcia is a guy that pushes the issue a ton. He hits those singles up the middle, and you think that they're just going to be singles, and he rounds first base hard.
Yeah.
He is not taking that for granted. And he's not the fastest guy. I know he has a good amount of stolen bases, 23, 37, 20 in the last 3 years. I think we like to think of Maikel as a very, very fast player. he's just a great base runner.
Yeah, you don't have to be fast. My hero, the recently passed away Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah.
He wasn't amazingly fast, but he stole a lot of bases in his big league career because of footwork, because of going on the right pitch, because of timing, because just awareness all over.
And you look at it, his sprint speed 62nd percentile. That's just slightly above average. It's not like he's out here as a burner, but he is just so smart on the base paths. Maybe someone else disagrees with me, but I know he's got thrown out a lot this year, which has been frustrating because
a lot of those were early on, though. He was like 1 for 6 early on, and now he's got 9 caught stealings, I think, on this. He still leads the league in caught stealings, but I think his percentage has been much better after the first 3 or 4 weeks.
And I looked back to see if there was a drop-off in sprint speed. He was 27.9 last year. He's 27.8 this year, so he's this.
So it is a drop-off. Wow.
Massive.
No wonder.
But it's been about the exact same for Michael. It's just he's a guy who gets it done on the mental side at times. And so I guess we've talked a lot negatively on the Royals on the base paths. I wanted to give a shout-out to Michael, who I think sometimes does positive things on the base paths.
Yeah, I want to. We'll talk some other things here in the second segment, but just the bigger view of what we're seeing from this particular team. Base running runs above average. Last year they were 7th best in baseball at plus 8.8, and this year they're minus 3.2. So it's 12 runs difference over the course of 100-something games. Maybe not that big of a deal, but it's just sort of indicative of the whole thing. And that's why when you said that, it's like, well, they're not under 500 because they're doing that. They're doing that because they're under 500. That last year they were winning games, having fun, getting the runs in. Maybe they weren't making as many mistakes, trying to force the issue as much as like, well, I'm going first to third because the best we can do is a sacrifice fly. So I got to get there because we're not going to get another hit. Oh, I'm thrown out at third. Or, pressing the issue at a different time, or I'm stealing in this situation because I feel like we've got to, do something to generate some offense here. But 12 runs difference from one year to the next with this really the same cast of characters is interesting. And it just feels like there have been a number of mistakes that have been mental mistakes. And being in a major league clubhouse, because a lot of people are we've had texts coming in and we're like, well, this is Quatrero. He's got an undisciplined clubhouse and these guys are doing that and they keep doing that. But then what was last year? Because they weren't that undisciplined clubhouse. They didn't have 2 plans. They were really good on the base paths. They were taking the extra base. They were getting the guys home from second. They were great with runners in scoring position. So was he a good coach last year and a bad coach this year? Was it just the players last year, but now it's coaching this year? So it's probably a combination of both for the 2 years. So I don't think it's Quatrero just forgot how to coach or anything. But if these mistakes happen a number of times, is that sort of in the clubhouse with the players just goes unsaid, sort of you're better than that? Or is there something that needs to be said? Is there something in the clubhouse that's not being said? Or from Matt Quatrero, we know we talked to him in the dugout after that play happened. What takes place there if you've got a number of guys that seem to be making some mistakes, and as a team it's kind of been their personality this year, some bad mistakes on the base paths?
Well, big league manager will address it like he did with Lofton last night. But whoever are the leaders on the team, that's when they need to get a meeting together and talk about it and hold them accountable that way. The leaders need to do that, and they shouldn't be told. They should do it before the manager even says, hey, you guys should go do it. They should be like, yeah, we've got that under control. It's not just the manager that should take him in the dugout. There's a Vinny, there's a Salvi that needs to come over there. There's a Waka and a Lugo on the pitching side, that needs to be taking those guys over. Like, what are we doing here? Okay? It's not just the fact that I'm not getting on you for that. I'm getting on you for your lack of preparation, so that doesn't happen. Okay? What Lofton did last night is not a failure of decision in the moment, even though it seems like it. He shouldn't have gone. He ran through the stop sign. All he did what he wasn't supposed to do. It was his lack of preparation mentally before that that caused him to make the wrong decision in that moment. And so there's leaders on the team that need to handle that. Now, if they have a base running guy, a guy that talks about base running, you address it there just with, you probably have 2 or 3 groups. You got your infield, maybe you got your outfielder, maybe you just got them all as your fast guys. All your position players are working on base running. And they do that randomly throughout the season. It's not just a spring training thing. You're working until the last day or up until the last week on those things to stay fresh. And you need to handle that there. You're not going to shame him. He's a man. He's a big leaguer, and people make mistakes. But it's leadership and then specialized drill work. Whoever's leading that needs to address it.
Does it come off as, I mean, these are grown men and they're professionals. Does it come off as bullying's not the right word, but
building,
driving the point home unnecessarily? If he's talking to Annie Rogers and saying, "Yeah, it was a mistake. That was dumb. I should have done this." Scoring situation, I wasn't aware of it. I didn't think enough about scoring situation at that point. I had my head down. I saw the stop sign. It was too late, so I just kept going. It can't happen. It won't happen again. That's on me. If he's saying that already, does it then need to be a leader going, "Well, here's the deal, and here's what"? Like, does it need to be, or is it he's already saying that he gets it? So we'll leave it be for now.
Well, oftentimes you can do that in the media because maybe you don't want to be told by anybody else.
Yes, right, yeah.
But you still need to be told. Now, if he did, look, whoever was around him in that meeting, is there an audio clip of it, or was it just Annie's?
It was just Annie.
Okay, so anybody,
Annie and Jalen,
anybody that was standing around there, those three could understand his tone.
Yeah.
And Annie's a great writer, so she kind of brought it to life a little bit, but there's still no way of knowing, was it a really contrite, oh man, I failed this right there, man, can't happen, that is on me, and it is not going to happen again, or was it, yeah, it's on me, it won't happen again, because you're trying to just be flippant about it, and again, I don't think Lofton's that guy. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
He doesn't seem like
it. I would absolutely give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's still, even though he was accountable publicly, there still has to be even a small thing like, hey, just let's lock in. Because like I said, that solves the decision of the moment. That's the accountability of the moment. But then you have to go deeper behind closed doors or in that early work or that base running work where you say, okay, we already handled that, but now let's just talk about how we prepare ourselves so that doesn't happen. So we're able to be mentally strong so you don't fade into that moment. There's the before that. Before you step foot on the game, let's talk about how to be mentally strong so that and other mistakes don't happen. You don't have to single Nick Lofton out.
You're right.
But you do talk about as a whole, it was a mental mistake. So, hey, let's remember. Let's work on it, and let's talk about how we can work on it and better prepare.
Yeah, because you're not just singling him out. There have been plenty of times they've probably had teaching points that he's learned from that were other players' mistakes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that guy sucked. It meant that, hey, this is a teaching point for everybody.
Yeah.
This is what happens. It's 162. Those things take place. But this is what can't happen.
Right.
And this is why it happened. To your point, it was the mental preparation before. It wasn't just, I'm going to run hard and go through there. It was not paying attention to Vinny's up next. There's 2 outs.
Yeah.
Your run means nothing. And Abreu has one of the best arms in baseball in right field.
Yeah.
And Bobby hit a rocket to right field. It was a line drive smoked there. So
the
all of those
perspective,
things.
the perspective that we have to keep is that when teams are underperforming based on what they should be and what they are, mistakes like this get magnified a little bit.
Right.
So we just have to keep that level head like, okay, if it
No,
was the
less,
yeah,
no
I hear
nuance,
you.
no nuance.
If it was the Dodgers,
nuance Norman.
If they were up 7-2 in the 8th inning and they were up 3-2 and they just put 4 runs to make it 7-2 and he's thrown out there and it's like, it's a little too aggressive there, whatever, but
what if what what Kyle Isbell did the other day, you talked about where he's pointing at the team and the ball's rolling away from the right fielder. What if the next pitch was a pass ball, he gets to third, and then
2 pop-ups
or something like that,
you're up 2,
and he doesn't score, or something along the lines where he should have scored, but because of that he didn't, then it becomes magnified. But it wasn't because that, so you just talk about it a little bit.
Less
so,
nuance Norman.
And I guarantee you the next time Isbell's going into second on a double, he ain't going to slide and look over that. He's going to make sure that he knows exactly where the ball is.
Well,
right. And so it didn't hurt him then, which is fine. And maybe it didn't really hurt him this go around, because again, they still would have had to have 4 more runs at least to go and win the game.
I'm just going to go ahead and count it that Vinny was hitting a
grand slam.
A grand slam there. I'm just going to count that, obviously.
Vinny grand slam, Urseg comes in, gets the hold, and then Estevez the save, and we're talking about
but
they came back from 7 runs.
Everything gets magnified
Yeah, for sure.
when you're in the playoff hunt. Everything gets magnified when you are playing the team, one of the teams ahead of you, and you have not them on the ropes, but
they're
pretty
really
close to it. They're going backwards.
Yeah.
They're trotting backwards now.
Yeah.
and you feel like Vinny has a chance to land the haymaker, and he doesn't get that opportunity.
Yeah. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. We'll talk about what Les saw from the trade deadline. Salvi, what takes place the rest of the way for Salvi with Maley as the backup now. Vinny Pasquantino, what he's been doing. The clubhouse overall, 49 games remaining for this Royals team. They're 4 games out of the wild card. We'll take a timeout. More Zone next. Les Norman is our guest. Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. All right, Les, last time you were on the show, it was before the trade deadline, and we knew the Royals had signed Seth Lugo to the contract extension. That really feels like just to put a bow on that one with you, Les, doesn't that feel like look, Seth, we want to sign you long-term. Let's discuss this right now. All right, it's not going to get done. We're trading you. Doesn't that sort of have the feel of they signed that a week before the trade deadline? I think the timing is that we want to sign to this extension, but if we can't get it done, then we need to look to trade you. So, and it's not like a forcing your hand, like, oh, you better sign this or you're going to be traded. But if we can get something done, we want you to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, we got to think the long term as an organization, and you're going to be a free agent and on the open market. Honestly, we may not be able to compete, but here's what we can do. Here's what we can offer you right now. Can we come to some sort of an agreement and keep you around 3 years, and then we won't trade you?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. There's another suspicion I have that Michael Wacha didn't have to sign an extension with the Royals. He could have got money somewhere else. He could have got offers from a team that has pretty good chances of winning. But from somebody I know mentioned to me that he and his family like it here, and I'm wondering if Wacha didn't have some influence also on Lugo, where look, we have a chance to lead this team. We have a great nucleus with Bobby and Michael and Vinny, and I feel like the Royals are honestly willing to improve it. Maybe not as fast as we would like, right? But that what you're saying could very well be. But I also feel like maybe that making Kansas City their home for a few more years is also good. I mean, Lugo doesn't seem like the guy that, I'm 36, and so I'm going to go ahead and get $80 million, and play for the Yankees and then just hate New York, and when you're bad, New York hates you back kind of thing. So, I think it could be a combination, but I feel a little more strongly that maybe he just wanted to stay here and believes in what they're doing.
I kind of wondered if something might not be up. That last Sunday home game, Noah Cameron pitched, and I was out there covering, and Noah's locker is right next to Lugo's. And while I was holding the microphone for Cameron, I looked over, and Lugo was sitting down and staring a million miles away and had a water bottle and was just spitting sunflower seeds like one every 3 seconds into that bottle. And I was like, wow, he is really thinking about something. And I figured he was about to get traded, but then they announced the deal. So he must have been trying to decide, is this what I want to do?
Am I here long term? I mean, it's how much does the relationship with Brian Sweeney and Zach Bove, the pitching coaches, it seems like that nucleus group, like they get together and they have their meeting right when they come off the mound. Like I'd never seen that before, and they do it every single game. Wacha, Lugo, Reagans, those guys, Sweeney, Bove. How much is that part of it to where I just want to stay here? Like I'm going to get $60-some-odd million for the next 3 years. I mean, I've already made life-changing money. Do I need to go out on the open market to make 75? And who knows if I'll be happy when I go there? Or I got 66 right now, and I get to be here with these guys and the pitching coaches that I like, and that clearly something's working here.
Yeah, I think it's all about the relationships. You see, like when Lugo's pitching, you see those pitchers together. When Wacha's pitching, you see those pitchers together. When Cameron's pitching, you see those pitchers together. I mean, it's always that mix of guys, but especially the older guys or the more talented, your 1, 2, 3, they all stay together, and it's that relationship. I don't know who they go out to dinner with or whatever, but it wouldn't surprise me if they all even hung out off the field because you just always see them together. So I feel like relationships are better. If I had a hitting coach that told me 1 or 2 things that stuck with me and I had a good rapport, I'm going to trust him with everything. There might be one guy that hit, 100 home runs a year, but if I'm not jiving with him because he does things a little bit differently, then I may not have as much of a tendency to relate to him because you can do that, but I can't. I can do this, and your message to me is not what my strengths are. You know what I mean? So it's such a mental game with all the talent that those pitchers have. And so relationships to stay in Kansas City, relationships to continue to improve are everything. And when you get a pitching coach, if you're an organization that has a pitching coach that has earned, or any coach that has earned the trust of their players, especially their veteran players, then you have something special. And so it would behoove the Royals to hang on to that.
Well, and I remember the story remember when Will Smith was recruiting everybody to get them before the 24 season, to get all the free agents, Waka, Lugo, Renfro, Frazier, all of these guys that were sort of Will Smith, the other guys in the bullpen. Seth Lugo, his wife didn't want to come to Kansas City because it's a younger team. Do they know anybody?
Yeah.
They got kids. Are there actually wives of players, or are they mid-20s girlfriends and not mid-30s like I am with a couple of kids? And then you get here and you meet Waka and other guys that are there on the team.
Yeah.
And I think now that they've been here a year and a half, it's one of those things like, okay, do we want to go through this again?
Yeah.
This offseason. We've been here a couple of years. Our kids are getting older. They're getting into elementary school. Are we ready to take them out again, or are we good for the next 3 years here, making $66 million for the next 3 years? I think we're good.
Yeah. In all of my years as a professional, the best season I ever had based on relationships was in 1998 in Oklahoma City. Now, it was AAA for the Rangers, but, all the wives would hang out together. You would have, we'd have a chapel service on Sunday, and usually you might have 5 to 7, 10 players. But what they did is they opened up this giant room, and it was families. There were 50, 60, 70 people in that room every Sunday that we were home.
Wow.
Because all the families knew each other, and we all watched each other's kids that had kids, and everybody was hanging out together and respected each other and loved the chaplain and everything. And so that was by far my most content, the most fun I had as an athlete. Now, again, it's the minor leagues. Everybody's free agents or goes to the big leagues or gets released, whatever. But for that one season of time, it was really special. My wife will tell you the same thing. If you well, what's the best place you ever played? She'll tell you Oklahoma City for that reason.
Because of the people around you.
Because of the people around you, because it was a family.
Yeah, we think of city organization, things like that, but some of those things are talked about too. Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, our guest. One more for you, Les. We've been wondering, how do they handle Salvi the rest of the way? Because Freddie was playing a lot. Salvi was moving to DH. He's missed 5 games this year so far. With Maley, he doesn't offer what Freddie offers, so you would expect Salvi to catch a lot more. Do they have to go out of the way to mix in more days off for Salvi to keep him fresh? Or are they in a position to where with 49 games left, they can't take his bat out of the lineup, and it's just like, it's go time, Salvi? It's a 49-game sprint.
Yeah, if they still have life in them and think about pushing for a wild card, guy's got 20 home runs. You know, I mean, you can't. He's been hot. And he's starting to swing at a few bad pitches lately, pressing a little bit, but I don't think that's going to hold. Salvi is kind of trendy, cyclical in his stuff, but I don't think you can take his bat out of the lineup. I think an off day for him is going to have to be the DH spot, not the off day. He's going to have to be in the lineup, and good luck telling Salvi he's not going to play if he's not hurt anyway.
Yeah.
And so
I joked and said,
it's not going to happen.
You get a Salvi, go, bleep you, my friend. I'll be playing.
Yeah.
And
he may even say the word bleep.
Yes.
Not just bleeping. He may say, bleep you, my friend.
Bleep you, my friend.
I'm going to play.
Not play. Out to play. I love Salvi, and it's great. Last one for you. I know that I said that was the last
No, you're
one.
good.
Now it's the last one. Now it's the last one for you.
Can you believe him? He's going to ask 3 more after
giving
this.
him grace, man. Let's go.
Thank you. I wrote it down. I don't know when Jack Caglione will get back up when he gets off the IL, but I was wondering from your perspective, your first time in the big leagues to then being sent back down and then coming back up. Jack's not sent back down, but his time in the big leagues, and it looked like a lot of things were a little bit too big for the moment at times, and now he's on the IL, maybe recharging the batteries. Was there anything different for you when you came back up the second time that easier is not the right word because it's Major League Baseball, but more familiar that allowed you maybe to get into a better routine?
I absolutely appreciated it a little bit more. I mean, you're so thankful. I'm in the big leagues. I can't believe it. But then when you struggle, even in the starting role, I mean, I never had a starting role like Jack Caglione got, but I'm also wasn't as good as he is. So you have to appreciate it. You learn. Maybe you took the time while you're on the IL and you're watching video of your at-bats and you're learning things. I don't necessarily know that if he comes back, they're just going to pop him right back in the lineup now that the trades, they got Yastrzemski and Grichuk and Frazier back. And so, I don't think that necessarily they're going to pop him right back in the lineup. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm kind of curious now after the outfielders they got. So I think for him, next season is when the serious resurgence of Jack comes back. and we start to see what he can do, especially if they start continuing to play well. They're scoring runs, and they're doing it with veterans. I don't know that you put him back in that role because you could be shooting yourself in the foot. If he starts swinging and missing again and just not having good at-bats, well, then it's 8 against 9 every game. So I'd let him get the experience, maybe pinch hit him once in a while. If they want to send him back down for at-bats, fine. He's going to have to go on a rehab assignment anyway, so maybe they send him down. I don't know, but I wouldn't necessarily put him in a full-time mix with only 49 left.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do this, but Nick Kurtz, when he came up, he got injured, but before the injury, he was batting .245 and OPSing at 700. He goes on the IL. He comes back, and he's been back for 45 games. And he's batting .340, OPSing at 1.2, and in the 45.
Let's get Cags to OPS 700 first.
Right, I'm not saying that. I'm not. Let me finish. And in those 45 games, he's got 18 home runs, which is pacing for 65. Obviously, you're not expecting that for Cags, but clearly something was different for Nick Kurtz.
Sure. From
when he was up and wasn't doing much, and he's got 20 home runs on the season. 18 of those are in the last 45 games. He had already played 50 some odd games before, and then he gets injured. And then he comes back up and then he looks much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So maybe that little bit of time on the IL can refresh you a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a time out. Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com, First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Les, you're the man. Appreciate it, brother.
Great to see you as always.
More Zone coming up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you to Les Norman, Breaking the Norm, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. We'll talk with Todd Lebo coming up at 1 o'clock. Fact or Fiction with Todd Lebo.
Why not?
More likely than not. It is really a good comparison, though, when I bring up Jack Caglione with Les Norman. Can Jack do what Nick Kurtz did before his injury? Can he be that guy, Kurtz pre-injury, not Nick Kurtz with his 1.2 OPS and pacing for what would be 65 home runs over the course of a season post return from IL. But can he be a guy that OPS is at 715, hits 245?
I would like that.
I will take it. I'll settle for it right now. I'll settle out of court right now. For you look a little thirsty there. Settle out of court right now for a 245 with a 447 slug from Jack Caglione. Whenever he returns, he went on the IL the 27th, so that's 9 days ago. Not that he would be close to returning anyway. I have no idea. I haven't heard an update on if he'll have a rehab assignment or anything. So, the 10-day IL. Technically, I guess he'd be eligible to return in a couple days, but I haven't seen any update or anything with Cags.
I have seen doing hitting and throwing work as of 2 days ago. He has not started to run.
Yeah, okay.
So it looks like he did live at-bats against Michael Lorenzen last Thursday.
Who won? I need to know what happened. I need to know the box score on that one. So is that what so that'd be last Thursday, because J.J. Piccolo, when he had a press conference Thursday night, said during the day at the trade deadline, I'm sitting here watching Michael Lorenzen throw live BP.
There you go.
So Jay, who was that against? who was live in the box against him? And what did both? Can you give us assessment of both guys and their matchup?
So he's been hitting and throwing live ABs, but apparently not yet running. The last update I have seen.
Okay. So if you could get that from him, hey, you know what? That's an upgrade. Just a matter of when he comes back. They've got 49 games left. They're 4 games out. They need to play some fantastic baseball. Last night's one of those you sort of just chalk up and move on. Unfortunately, with the third out in the 8th inning, they were in that position because Nick Lofton also had the double with 2 outs to drive in that 4th run of the inning. It was a few feet away from it being a home run. I haven't seen if that would have been a home run in Kansas City, the way that how high that thing hit off the monster. Like, is that one of those to where, of course, he hits it in Boston and it's not a home run. In Kansas City, that would have been 395 to left center and it's a home run.
I think Salvi had one of those the other day. Was that?
Did he? In Toronto?
No, that would have been the first.
Had one that was a home run that wouldn't have been at Kauffman, or the exact opposite?
Early in the game, didn't Salvi hit one off it? Am I dumb?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not mutually exclusive, but
I thought. I'm not saying because of this specific thing, but this specific thing I'm asking, am I dumb?
Did I dream this?
It might be right.
Did Salvi hit one up
we had baseball
top?
Practice last night, so when I got home, I
Double?
was catching up on everything.
Do you remember Drake? Did you remember that?
Yeah, Salvi hit one off the wall.
Salvi hit the wall early, right?
Yeah, he hit one off the wall.
And that would have probably been out in the K. Yes, okay, so I'm not dumb. I'm not that.
Salvi doubled.
Well, I'm not going to say you're not dumb.
Yeah. But for this...
That one may have been out at the K, too, because that one was also high up there.
For this specific one, that might have been out of the K. Yeah. So there might have been a couple of
Man,
those.
I felt like I was going crazy there.
I know Jaron Duran's home run would have been out at the K. And Wilyer Abreu's shot to the deepest part that Kyle Isbell was there to catch would have been out at the K. I think both those are home runs at the K. There were a lot of home runs last night that probably would have been home runs, or
anywhere.
at least hits that would have been home runs at the K.
When Duran hit that and had his little right hand, little whip.
Freaking way that's gone. That to me, that's a fly ball to center field, and Kyle Isbell is going to camp under it when that thing lands. No clue how in the hell he generated enough power to get a hold of that and to send it there with that high-ass wall, with that far away from home plate. Like, that's just, you shouldn't be able to do that.
How many starts do you give Bailey Falter before you say, all right, Stephen Kolek, you're next in line?
Well, it might be how many starts do the Royals give him before Lorenzen returns, because Bergert tonight, it's a pretty big debut for him. You know, when Lorenzen got traded for and made his debut for the Royals, they were in complete control of the wild card. They had an arm's length at the wild card. Remember, because how rough they played in September, it was like, oh my God, they're going to blow this. It went from you being excited they're in the wild card, now they're going to blow it. Now it's going to be disaster if they don't make the playoffs. It was awesome to think they'd make it. Now it's disaster if they don't. So Lorenzen's first start wasn't boy, this could go either way. This could really be helping you to make the playoffs, or, well, you just lost your first two to the Red Sox, and maybe you're heading in the wrong direction. We were talking about the last part of this road trip. That still may happen with them losing, but it's a pretty big debut start for Ryan Bergert tonight in Boston for this Royals team that after last night's game and after Bailey Falter did that as the new guy, Yastrzemski had a great debut as the new guy with the Royals hitting the home run in Toronto in his first at-bat.
Frazier did too as a re-debut.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yes, it was a great at-bat. And with Lorenzen hopefully coming back soon, with Waka, Lugo, Cameron, and Lorenzen coming back, it might be a choice of Bergert or Falter / Kolick. And then depending on when Reagans comes back, then we'll see what happens then. So I think it might be Falter and Bergert sort of battling each other for that last spot if and when Lorenzen comes back and is back in the rotation. So he may only have 2 more starts left before it's like, all right, we're moving to the bullpen or we're moving into Omaha.
And I remember talking about before his start of the inconsistencies with Bailey Falter, where if he's on, he's going 7-1, a little bit like Lorenzen, but very much 7 innings, no earned runs, 1 earned run. When he's off, it is 4 innings and a shelling. There's a lot of inconsistencies with Bailey Falter. Big one, as you mentioned, with Bergert tonight, and it's not easy when you go up against Garrett Crochet, knowing the Royals will somehow get 9 runs off of Crochet.
They'll find a way. Hopefully that's the case. If they get 9 runs, I feel pretty good about them winning tonight.
I would feel pretty good about that.
Because 9 last night would have won the game.
Well, the lineup's not out yet, at least I just checked, but that means you'll have Randall Grichuk starting tonight.
No Yaz. I would hope not.
Probably no Yaz.
You got a tough lefty in there, and he's not good against lefties.
I wonder if Tolbert gets the nod instead of Rave.
Yeah, because you got Rave out there too, and maybe they go with Yaz just simply because he's a more experienced lefty rather than John Rave. But
it's even possible you'll see Luke Maley, and with Salvi at DH and trying to take Frazier out.
Yeah, could be that. Yeah,
I'm intrigued to see how Q operates with a lot more platoon bats now.
Because that's like, to me, Yastrzemski and Grichuk were a combined 1 player.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to see Yastrzemski against lefties.
I'm okay seeing Grichuk against righties, though.
I'm okay with it. I'd rather see him. Like last night, unfortunately, that was a spot like he's there for against a lefty. Just didn't come through. Todd Lebo will come through next. Todd Lebo hanging out with us here for the final hour on this
you don't know anything, Sterling.
Tuesday edition of The Zone.
I know what I'm talking about. Drake knew it.
Drake knew it.
If I had a hammer, when would I hammer?
In the morning.
In the morning.
Long, all over this land. It's Peter, Paul, and Mary, isn't it?
Yeah,
All
Peter,
over
Paul,
this
and
land.
Mary.
Yeah.
It's the
You
hammer
said
of
William.
justice.
I said
William
William,
and
Paul,
Mary.
and Mary or something
William
like
You
that.
said William.
Is that is that who Mizzou plays in week 1?
Peter, Paul, and Mary William.
Bill,
We gotta play
Bill
three
and
of
Mary. Bill, Peter, and Mary.
If you had a bell, you'd ring it all over the land.
Oh, yeah.
Would you?
If you had a song, you'd sing it. And by the way, they sound like terrible neighbors. Horrible neighbors. If you
Making
had a
all that
hammer,
noise.
you're going to hammer in the morning and in the evening. When can I sleep?
Yeah, I would.
Peter,
I would
Paul,
I would not like those,
and
those
Mary?
neighbors. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Why don't you wait till like late morning?
Wait till
when-
noon.
What morning are you at? Like, I guess if you're a construction worker and you're at a construction site, then yeah, you can do that. But if you just had a hammer, you're not really a
Yes.
construction worker. If you just have one random hammer
And a bell, you're just going to start ringing it all the time?
you could do that. Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
perfectly fine. Todd, it's 2025.
2025.
When are we going to get to a point to where FCS schools can also have a line on the Division I schools they're playing, or the FBS schools for college football?
They should have them.
I mean,
Why not?
I haven't seen anything with Mizzou and Central Arkansas right now.
It's time. You won't get the line like. Did they usually get a line like that day or something?
Sometimes they do with the FCS, and it's like, okay, it'll be like 50-something probably is what it'll end up being. But KU's favored by 14 over Fresno State, and K-State by 3.5. I bring this
We
up.
don't have a KU Wagner line yet, though.
No, not yet. Not yet. Just the Fresno. Just the.
Pronounced
I do
Wagner.
like. I do like if you look at week 1 for like the schedules. Week 1, Big 12, KU and K-State are listed twice.
Yeah.
because
we don't have
they're
it.
playing week 0 and then week 1.
There's no field in it. You know, it's like the Y2K got us or something. We don't know where week 0 is.
What's week 0? To week 0. So like week 1, we've got
It is
KU
nice to have
twice.
2 games on our week 0.
Yes, on the
that we're paying
23rd,
attention
we get
to.
11 and a 5 o'clock game.
Yeah.
We get a full day to watch. One in Dublin and then one at Lawrence. Really, sort of the same. Lawrence is called what? The Dublin of Kansas?
Yeah, well, it's the Ireland of the Midwest.
Island of the Midwest, people call it. Yeah,
Same amount of beer is probably going to be drunk.
probably. I don't know.
Drank.
Maybe drink.
Drankled.
Drankled. Thank you.
Farmageddon in Ireland.
Yeah.
You
What
gotta-
could go wrong?
You gotta love that one.
Be fun.
Yes, but I bring it up. I was looking at some things last night, Todd, and I figured I would talk to you about this. You cover the Chiefs, and looking at the roster construction, and I think this roster is better than what it was a year ago. We'll see. We went through that last week. Sterling, Jack, and I did. But at BetGM, the totals in the NFL, the 3 teams that have the most money bet on the over.
Okay.
Seattle at 8.5 is number 1. So the most bets coming in have been Seattle on the over 8.5.
Shocking.
The second most, Steelers over 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
And the third, Raiders over 6.5.
Love that one.
The 3 highest most bet unders, Saints under 5.5.
People don't like the Saints.
Chiefs under 11.5.
Yeah.
Second most bet under so far at BetMGM
It makes sense
has been
that
the Chiefs
a
under
high
11.5.
number is easier to bet under on.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chiefs generally hit the over.
They'd
no
have
matter
to
where
win
you put it.
10 games out of 17. They'd have to, if it's an under, like, knock on wood, there's an injury that took place, right?
Probably
a pretty
major
significant one
Yeah.
somewhere. If they only win 10 games this year.
I haven't placed any overs or unders yet.
I haven't
will
placed
do
it yet, but I just saw that story come
I
out
like
last
the
night.
over though on probably.
I will say this, though. The public's dumb because
Is
they
that
also.
is that why they have the shiny hotels there?
Well,
Vegas?
yeah, but it's also you look at when Rodgers went to the Jets and everyone ripped all the overs year after year, and it was a disaster. Now you see Rodgers with the Steelers, they ripped the over. I'm like, dumb. That's not a bet I think is.
I love the over with the 11.5 because if the Chiefs are
Yes.
playing and it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes with 17 games, give me 12. Like I mean. I guess under
I do think
under
they-
11.5 is 11, and so do they go 11-6? Do they go 12-5? I'll take the 12 wins.
I do
over-
think
how
they-
many times
they
has
have
Patrick got
another
11 wins?
Challenging schedule, and I'm not talking just the teams. I think how they're playing Friday, Thursday, a couple Thursdays, holiday. I think they have a challenging schedule. They passed with flying colors last year because they had a wild schedule last year, but last year they also barely won like 5 or 6 of the games. So that's probably what some people are thinking about that. Like they have to, they didn't lose close games last year. What if they lost 3 of the games that were kind of wild? Maybe they would have been on the under on that one. But I think their schedule, and, listen, if Rashee Rice is out for the beginning of the year, that's a very tough part of the schedule. I get part of that. Maybe I won't bet a Chiefs over under on that, but if you made me bet, I would bet over because have you found
11 wins has happened one time for Patrick Mahomes.
That was a 16-game season?
2023.
That was 11-6. So they went 11. They went 11-6 in that one. So it's happened one time.
Did they try the last game or not try the last game that year? I can't remember.
That's a good question.
They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, but I can't remember that year. Is that the year that
they beat the Chargers by they beat the Chargers by 1, 13-12.
Oh, okay, that was
to get to their 11th win.
Right. Okay. That was tight.
So they were trying to at least get to 11 at that point because that was when they lost to Philadelphia, Green Bay, Buffalo, lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day.
Lost to some close ones.
Yeah, they had
the Raiders wasn't good, but
Detroit week 1.
Yep.
So that's how you get to only 11 wins with Patrick Mahomes. You lose a 1-score game to Detroit with a pick 6. You lose to the Philadelphia Eagles when MVS drops a touchdown. You lose to the Buffalo Bills and Kadarius Toney, and you no-show on Christmas Day, and you lose by 6 with 2 defensive scores in 13 seconds or 14 seconds or whatever. That's how you only get 11 wins if you're Patrick Mahomes.
I would
and the
bet
Chiefs.
the middle of that more likely,
take
which
11?
means like 12 or 13.
Yeah, I think I would take the over on that one.
Last
11.
year they won them all.
But it's interesting that
right?
it's that high of a bet of an under. And I get it. Like, okay, so if the
People
Chiefs
are sick of
go,
the Chiefs, too.
so Chiefs go 11-6, you win the bet.
People
but there's
also-
some Chiefs fatigue there.
I do think people, smart money, but the dummies that Sterling's talking about, the public, all of you listening, Sterling says are dumb.
No, not our listeners. Our listeners are the smart ones.
But you always root for your bets, and people bet on what they root for, and they're all rooting for the Chiefs to lose games.
That's
so, of course, you're going to bet the under if you're the public out there.
But then that's the emotional hedge, though. If I place the over 11.5 and the Chiefs keep winning, well, I hate it, but it's closer to me cashing.
Maybe.
And if they only win 11, I lose the bet, but I kind of win because the Chiefs only got 11 wins this year. That means if I'm the Ravens or Bills or Bengals, maybe I've got a better seed than they do.
Last year I didn't bet any overs, but I bet 3 unders, and they were all done by Christmas. I was very fortunate. I did not believe in your Jets, Sterling.
I didn't say my Jets. I said the people who bet the Jets.
And I was under on the Browns because it's the Browns.
It's the Browns.
And then their risk was too high last year, and the Dolphins too. They were too high. So I don't know what I haven't really looked at it this year, and that was a very whim-based thing, or it might have been Fat Jack said someone on one of the deals said it or something, and I was like, all right, whatever.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll play that one. It feels like every year the Chiefs are at 11.5, and I typically play the alternate line of over 12.5. It's kind of
get more.
I don't know that I'm going to do it this year, but 11.5 I like the over because again, it's going to take, 6 times.
What's the highest total on the board now? Are the Ravens higher? Or
No,
the
it's
Bills
11.5.
So
still. Let me
was
look if it's
12.
changed. Let me look if it's changed. It might be the Eagles at 12.
Eagles at 12.
But let me look at if
The
it's
Eagles,
changed.
a lot of this is what divisions you're playing, too, because the Eagles are playing the AFC West, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be an easy division. I think that I'm very excited for the games between the AFC West and the NFC East this year, because outside the Raiders, blah, and the Giants are blah, but I love just the Cowboys as must-see TV. What they're about is fun. I think Washington is the same way. The Eagles are obviously the Super Bowl champions. The Chiefs have been to 3 straight Super Bowls. Everybody thinks Bo Nix is the best thing since sliced bread, and Harbaugh is Harbaugh. So I think we're going to have some really good games, and we get a lot of them. I think 6 really good teams that could maybe all be in the playoffs, and they're going to play each other this year. Sign me up for those games.
I also the Raiders might be decent this year. I like the over 6.5. Again, when I say decent, that doesn't mean good, but I think they're doing things the right way.
You go 8-9, you've won that bet easily.
Yes. Ooh, I might do that. Lebo, how much you want to give me so I can bet?
At DraftKings right now, over 11.5, you get plus 100 for the Chiefs. At DraftKings right now, over 11.5 is going to give you plus 100. Like I would typically, I'll look at this and go, okay, so the public has the Seahawks over, Steelers over, Raiders over, and they have the Saints under, Chiefs under, Giants under. I'll just take those 6 bets and bet the opposite.
Maybe. What's the Giants total?
Giants are 5.5.
Under.
Yeah, that's
under.
I know, but that's that's the most bet thing. It's like
Pac-Man
everybody's just
Jones told me under hard.
Okay, there you go.
Part of the reason on
Listen
that
to Pac-Man.
But he's just being rebellion though about that.
Think about this. They're playing the Eagles twice, the Commanders twice,
Right.
the Cowboys twice.
Yeah.
They're
Their
playing
schedule
the
is
Chiefs,
hard.
The Broncos,
That's
the
true.
Chargers.
It's a tough one.
You know,
that's
your
probably not
Raiders.
one. That's probably not one I'd place a bet on.
Rip
I probably
the under
Wouldn't
on
put
the
any money
Giants.
on that one. I would just stay away from the Giants.
Hey, scared money don't make money, baby. Come on now.
And my money is not necessarily scared. It's just smarter not to place money on that particular thing. But I'll take the Chiefs over 11.5 and give me plus money for it.
Might as well.
So yeah, but I think it just sort of that conversation of I think the roster is better than what it was a year ago as it stands on paper right now. Paper doesn't go out and win games,
No.
but I think we looked at the offensive line from last year to this year, and we used it specifically, Todd, from the Super Bowl. So specifically Super Bowl, which means we are judging Joe Thuney left tackle,
right?
Caliendo left guard.
Mm-hmm.
So offensive line, Kingsley left guard and Josh Simmons left tackle.
I hope it's an upgrade.
I think it should be an upgrade, right?
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about Josh Simmons has never played a snap in the NFL yet.
Right.
So time will tell
Mm-hmm.
on that. And I think that if Kingsley Suamataia isn't great there, they've got options. You know,
Yeah.
I think Jalen Moore can play left, right, guard, tackle, whatever. So I like their options there because last year their options were garbage because they had to take Joe Thuney and play him at left tackle. That's a bad option.
Yeah.
And they had to take an undrafted player, Mike Caliendo, and play him in front of guys who they had drafted last year or the year before. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, you know, they were kind of desperate situation last year at the end of the year, before the end of the year. I mean, that's kind of what it was. If they have solidified left tackle, and we still need to watch. I love everything I've seen from Josh Simmons. All the reports are good.
Yeah.
What I've seen with my eyeballs, all of that stuff is good. But he's still not quite a full year out from a patellar injury, surgery, not just injury, surgery, and he has not played any. I hope that he plays more snaps in the preseason than they had Kingsley play last year.
Agreed.
I don't understand why
I
they
wonder if
they
that's going to be
did.
a fact or fiction question.
Would it
what
be?
I hope, or he will.
Well, I
will.
mean, but that was going to be what I asked then. So I know it's a fact or fiction now, but that's not going to keep me from going. The Kingsley played 30 snaps total in the preseason last year.
Mm-hmm.
He played 6. He played with the starters. That was it. So he didn't play a snap when Mahomes or the other offensive
out
linemen
there,
were. He didn't play a snap when Joe Thuney or Creed weren't out there with him.
Right.
Which, I mean, I get like wanting that continuity of the guys. I understand it from that standpoint, but you need reps
You
for that
gotta
guy.
Reps, man. Real
And
reps.
With Kingsley and Simmons combined on the left side, like
They
I'd
should
play
be
them-
out
play,
there.
Play a full half, play quarters, play halves. Maybe it's the first quarter because 6 plays he got last year in week 1, 24 plays he got in week 2. And then he didn't play in week 3 because he was a starter. The starters didn't play. Haven't played the last 2 years in the third preseason game with Andy Reid. I just think Josh Simmons this year, based on what we saw from last year with Kingsley, that I think Josh Simmons and Kingsley, I'd like to see him more in the preseason. But Andy has his routine,
He does.
and he doesn't necessarily deviate.
Doesn't really vary from his
Yeah.
routine. And tomorrow he speaks to the media, and he will tell us some
The
sort
starters
of
will
a
get a quarter.
plan.
The starters will get a quarter.
And they won't play a quarter.
They'll play a drive.
A drive. And if it's only 3 plays, maybe 2 drives.
Yeah,
You know,
right, exactly.
maybe.
They got 6 plays against the Jags last
Fumble
year.
the snap on the first one, and
Yeah.
maybe they won't. But, he does have his way of doing things, and don't look for that to change very much. But it is still more snaps than many teams play anybody. So it's something.
Yeah.
I
Right,
guess.
because a lot of teams do these practices,
against each
joint
other,
practices,
yeah.
and they don't play their starters in the game. So
Yeah, I want to see. There's not much for me to get too crazy about watching on Saturday night, but I do want to watch both of those guys, Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia. I want to watch them play. I want to watch them next to each other against other people.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of reps up at practice, and we've seen things there, but I want to watch them play because, and even if they're not going up against the starters for the Cardinals, because I don't know how they're going to do their stuff. Whoever they're going up against is going to try. If it's a second or third string guy, they may be trying even harder than a starter because they're trying to impress people. So you're gonna come, try to bull rush him, try to get around him, try to do whatever. So they're better reps. I do like the one-on-one stuff that they do up at camp, because I think those guys are trying. But there's a difference between doing a one-on-one rep when it's just you and the guy, and no one's coming up to chip you, or no one's coming up to help on either side. So I want to see that stuff. And, it's going to be pretty vanilla on both sides probably, because that's just the way it is. But it is some sort of football, and we will watch it.
Yeah, and the one-on-ones also aren't like I've got a guy that I'm blocking and there's a twist happening in a game, and it's like, oh, wait, now I've got to get off this guy to go and try to get this guy that's coming around. One-on-ones, it's like, I know exactly. I'm going up against this guy. He's going to have a pass rushing move.
I'm going to try something.
And I've got to do this and that. He's going to slap the hands, whatever it might be. Here's my anchor. I like that those things. The long drive drill is great, but we saw Jalen Moore and Juwan Taylor rotate at first-string right tackle today with the long drive drills, 15 plays. I know people are looking at it and wondering about, who's going to start at right tackle. I think when you have a long drive drill and Juwan Taylor is the only one that comes out, that tells me more of them nursing the knee along than
there's no reason out there doing that,
than Jalen Moore is actually competing for the right tackle spot. Like, we've got the long drive. They did a 15-play drive. They started at their own 5, and they had a 15-play long drive drill. That's the longest one they've had so far. And everybody played. The starters were out there playing, except right tackle flipped out with Jalen Moore from Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't think Jalen Moore's starting at right tackle over Juwan Taylor unless there's an injury. I think that the guy's got a knee injury, and so you're not going to have him out 15 straight plays.
Yeah,
until you get closer to the regular season.
Yeah, you got to. And the way they do these drives, there may be a 15-play drive at some point in the regular season, but if there is, there's probably a quarter in between.
Yeah,
there may be a timeout. There may be something.
Right.
These are. There's none of that.
Injury timeout, a replay, a virtual chain measurement,
a penalty where they take the time.
That's right, yeah.
Even if there's a flag, I don't think there are refs up there today, but last week there were refs up there for the long drive drill. But it's still quick. It's just all right. It's penalty here. They don't. It's not actually. Let's look at the camera and blow the whistle and walk it off. And do all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
So it's different. They will not do in a game ever what they did today.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
It just won't be that
15-play 2-minute drill. 15 plays under 2 minutes. Crazy.
It is fun for him, and Andy likes it, and the players, it's a challenge for them. And today was a little bit warmer, but it wasn't nearly as bad.
Not like last Tuesday, which was just awful. I think it was it Robert Tunyon or
he got asked
Mike
about first
Edwards?
Thing, right?
Yeah, it might have been. Was it Mike Edwards that said or maybe it was Robert Tunyon that said it's as close as we're going to get to an actual game, the long drive drill. So it feels more like any game than anything that we'll be close to here in camp. So there's that. All right, we'll take a time out. Fact or fiction, Sterling?
Sure.
More likely than not next. All right, hanging out with Todd Lebo on this Tuesday edition. Time for a little fact or fiction.
Fact.
Go around the room, and Sterling will ask us questions, and we have to decide if we like it or not.
Yeah.
If we are going to buy or sell that. And we called it fact or fiction.
What, we went back and checked that one. We got the answer last week. Was Freddie Fermin going to get traded? And that was a fact.
And that was.
I had a
was
fiction
correct.
on that, yeah. Got that answer quick.
And you had a fiction?
I had a
You're
fiction.
so stupid.
It's so dumb.
God, why are you so dumb?
I don't know.
All right. Should we start with Todd?
I say yes.
You know what? Todd's been filling in for Steven this week, so let's start with him.
Let's do
Let's
it.
start with Todd.
You
because of
deserve
that.
this,
Yeah.
Lebo.
He
You deserve
He deserves
you
to lead off.
deserve this.
He deserves a lead off.
Josh Simmons and Kingsley Sumatilio only play one drive in preseason game 1.
Fiction.
Ooh.
Going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, together, the two of them, one of them can't play one drive, and another one plays another drive. And
It's and, not or.
Oh, it's and.
It's
So that means together.
But one of them could play one drive, another one could play two drives.
Yeah.
And then this messes everything up.
Correct. This is an and. They both would only have to play one drive.
So therefore, one
They're-
could
they're-
play
they're
two.
being-
One plays two, one plays
so
one.
one plays
Being
two, one plays
labeled
one
it's a fiction.
would be a fiction.
Then I'm going to say fiction.
I'm going to say. I'm going to say fact. I think this is. I think Andy Reid's going with the starters, and I think this is what he does. He doesn't deviate. I'm going to go fact.
Fiction.
Damn it.
We made this. It might be fact, but I hope
of
it's
course
fiction.
They all can be anything.
I'm really hoping it's fiction. So I'm trying to put us
I'm
out in the
hoping it's
atmosphere
fiction,
that they
too.
play more than one
More.
drive.
Let's get
I'm
more.
hoping it's fiction as well.
More.
Drake leads us off in this one.
Drake. Isaiah Pacheco takes the first carry in preseason game 1.
Fact.
Fact.
Sure, fact. I don't know.
Fact. Yeah, it's fact.
It's one of those bad bets you don't place. Who touches the ball?
Yeah, he's been getting the first carry in all of camp so far. So that would be that'd be random. If
Patrick Mahomes'
it's
keeper.
Patrick Mahomes on a scramble. It's the first rushing attempt. All right, it's 2-1. We're all tied.
Jason.
Yep.
I blame Vance Wilson at least a little bit for Lofton's miscue.
Fiction.
Like 1%?
Sure.
You should, so I'm going to say fact. It's probably fiction, but I'll say fact.
I think it's fiction.
It's fiction.
Yeah.
What more could he have done besides lay down on the ground and tell him to slide into third, which you're not going to do.
Grab him.
Put two arms up?
Instead of
Could have done that.
How about
point
put
at the
one arm-
bag.
one arm
Hey,
past your shoulder?
hey, guy, here. You go here.
You're holding two hands up doing something.
Yeah, your right hand was up as if you were getting ready to pledge.
What was I doing?
You were doing this.
You had a hand on the Bible and holding your right hand
What did
up.
he do?
Is it? Do you place your right hand on the Bible and then it's like feels like
It doesn't matter.
I'll take your answer, but
Fiction.
you're lying to yourself. There's
No,
not
you're
even one
getting
little
that
bit.
answer. It's the correct answer. It's literally the correct answer.
3-2,
Playing
we're all tied.
fact or fiction. It's literally the correct answer.
It's literal fact.
Is Drake undefeated so far?
Drake, no. Yes, Drake has 3, and you and I have 2.
He's
So
just about to get ice
Drake
cold.
is 3 for
Lebo.
3.
Yeah.
FAU will be behind Ashton Gelati this year.
On the depth chart, like week
Snaps.
1, anytime.
Snaps.
Oh, snaps.
Oh, snaps too. Oh, snap.
Boy, this is a tough one.
That's a point.
Fiction.
Like in line at the cafeteria? Or?
Snaps.
Every spot.
Playing time.
Every single spot. he
This
has
is
to be behind
ambiguous.
it.
Fact.
Fact.
Fiction.
Whoa, FAU is going to be ahead. Did you
I
say
said
fiction, yeah.
Yeah, so Ty
I
got the
still
point there.
think that FAU will get more snaps in Gelati this year.
Okay. Wow, I mean,
I still think that.
I like what I see from Gelati in camp.
yeah,
But he is a rookie who's never played before.
Yeah.
yeah. I think the Greek treat. I think they're going to go out and ball out. I think they're going to be awesome this year.
TM, trademark.
Already did.
Drake.
Already did.
Matt Nagy will flip the script, and he will have a better perception about him this year.
He has a bad perception now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't have a bad perception of that.
Criticism from fans. He gets a lot of criticism from fans.
He'll receive more praise than criticism this year.
Correct.
Okay.
Fact.
Fiction.
I think fact. I think they're gonna. I think the offense
hope
will be
it's
so
fact.
good it's fact.
Fact. I think so too.
Well, I'm off.
You're ice cold, bro.
Yeah.
Very.
After he tried to jinx Drake, he put the
I know.
voodoo on himself.
I know.
The voodoo that you do. No, he didn't get one there. Don't
No, he
don't
didn't.
give him that point.
But I'm going to scratch it out because I'm writing. I assume he's going to get one more at some point.
4-2
4 to
is the score. We're all tied. I'll go first on this one.
Jason.
Yep.
Al Pastor tacos are far superior to any other taco.
Man, far superior seems like that's strong, but I think you're asking it for a specific reason. I'm going to say fact.
Fiction.
That sounds like the kind of thing that you would die on a hill for, so I'm going to say fact.
Yeah, it's fact. I love Al Pastor tacos. It's so good.
Yeah.
The pineapple, oh, man.
One of your worst takes of all time.
Al Pastor tacos are elite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so bad.
What do you mean?
There's no way that there's any taco that's far superior.
Yeah,
to any
Al
other.
Pastor
that's
taco.
the take.
Al
You're
Pastor
putting
tacos.
pineapples on a taco.
You get the drippings down the meat, and that's how it gets all delicious. What are you talking about?
Come on.
Why'd
What's the
you
next
say
question?
mark that? I don't
I
know.
didn't say anything.
He did not say
He
anything.
did what Vance Wilson did.
Yeah.
I gave a real signal.
and
But I
Drake
followed
knew.
it. I was already ahead of him, though.
Yeah, Drake
We were on
knew
the
that.
same
Yeah,
wavelength.
that was Willier Abreu, and Drake's smart enough to slow down and stop at third. You know, he doesn't.
I'm Nick Lofton. I just kept going.
Just kept going.
Drake doesn't even need to be
Barreling
told.
down there.
Lofton shouldn't have even had to be told to stop at third.
All the drippings.
We will start with Todd on this one here.
Lebo,
Mm-hmm.
Snowblind, Super Knot, and Jack the Stripper / Fairies Wear Boots are all elite Black Sabbath songs.
Fact.
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 That's fact.
Yeah.
Gosh, those
That's
three. I
all
was going
good,
to say my
yes.
top 3 favorite Black Sabbath songs, and I think they are, but I didn't want to get. I think they're my top 3 favorite Black Sabbath songs.
Can't-
2 on the same album.
Can't pick them. I can't pick.
Super Knot and,
You have to
and
pick one.
Snowblind.
I
You have
can't
to pick
'em.
one.
I won't. You can't even make me
Gun
try
to your
to
head.
pick.
What do you think
No,
Snowblind's
shoot
about?
me.
This is a Sophie's choice, and I won't make it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
6-5 to 4. We're all tied.
What do you think Snowblind's about?
Maybe cocaine. Or
You think?
just snow.
Probably just
don't
snow.
know.
You know what it is? It's skiing, and you're going so fast you get that powder
Can't
right
see.
in your
It's
face.
almost like skiing with dynamite,
Is that what it
right?
is?
Yeah,
Can't
Could
see.
be about drippings.
Could be.
could be.
like gravy, right?
That's young.
Maybe.
Brady.
Yes.
We'll go to
It's Drake leads us off. on
Drake
this
this time.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes goes over 5,000 yards this year.
Fact.
He's done that one time.
One time. That was 2018. I'm going to say fiction, but I
How many guys threw 5,000 last year? Anybody?
did.
give me a little-
Did Burrows get there?
Burrow.
Did Joe's Burrows? I don't think Burrow got there, but I'll look.
See if anyone did. If someone else besides one of them did, I'll say fact this year.
Let me see. Patrick did it in 22. He's done it twice.
Burrow got to 4,900.
Oh.
4,918. And the
Fiction.
next closest was Jared Goff at 4,629.
Patrick's done it twice.
Fiction.
Has he done it twice?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
2022.
Oh, 2022. That's right. MVP
That's the
season.
4th most ever
Yep.
in
MVP.
NFL
I'm saying
history.
Yeah.
The answer's fact.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he had his most passing yards in 2022. That was what was so awesome about they trade Tyreek and then he goes out and has the most passing yards.
Extra game too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
You're
all.
going
Yeah,
fact?
17 games I think makes a huge difference. I'm
Good
all
call.
in on that. Yeah,
Good
so
call.
Patrick Mahomes over 5K.
They'll probably rest the
That's right.
last 2 weeks this year.
Yeah,
'cause we're so far
2018
ahead
was
of the
only
division.
16 games.
and
that's right.
already has 5,000 passing yards. Wow,
No, I got a
crazy.
fiction on that.
But you said it was a fact?
It is a fact.
So Drake got the point?
I didn't say it's a fact. It is a fact.
Okay, yeah. Because this is how it is.
7-5 to 4. We're all tied. I'll go first on this one.
We'll go with Jalen Royals catches 4 or more passes in preseason game 1.
Oh, wow, that's
lot
a good.
of
Wow, yeah,
passes.
that is a lot. But I'm going to say fiction because there's a lot of wide receivers. So I'm going to say fiction.
Let's try fact.
Let's try it.
Let's try.
Let's try. Just try it.
I'll say fiction just because Royals are underperforming right now.
That's the right answer. Fiction.
It's a total fabrication.
Good call, Drake. Way to read it.
Nice job.
Just trying to have some fun.
He just keeps running. They're like, Jalen, get back. It's a new play. Just keeps running.
Just runs right through the stop sign. You're supposed
Can't
to stop
stop him.
Supposed to stop 12 yards down the field and cut back in, and he just ran right through it.
Can
so,
do it.
You know, I just
Can do it.
I saw the opening. I was just going to go for it all. This will be Todd.
Lebo.
Yeah.
Todd Lebo.
4 tight ends. Well, I guess 1. 4 tight ends make the roster. And 2, the 4 tight ends are Kelsey Gray, Robert Tunyon, and Brittingstool.
Fiction.
Fiction, I think it'll be 3.
Fiction. Wiley over Brenningstool.
Bringstill hadn't taken a snap.
Yeah,
in
it's
practice yet.
fiction. Yeah,
It's a fake.
We're all fiction.
I try to throw you off.
Yep. 9.
It'd be different if Bringstill had played yet.
I know, but I it's
He
on
might
me.
be on the
6 to
IR
6
or
to
something.
9. We're all tied up.
But I do think they're going to have a lot of tight ends.
Dylan said, "Mark that from beyond the grave." Love that, Dylan. The Undertaker. Dylan's the Undertaker.
Everyone was
Yes,
hitting
everybody.
F8 in their
Everybody.
cars.
Yes, everybody
on that
knew
one.
what
What
that
are you
was.
talking about?
No, I
What
don't
are you
know.
talking about?
I don't know what I even
What
said.
were you talking about?
Try to remember. Say it. Try right now to say again what you said.
It's about some pineapples and
Right.
and dripping on your meat.
Yeah, that's kind of what you said.
Yeah.
What's wrong about that?
Nothing except El Pastor tacos are not far superior
Far
to every other
superior.
taco.
Yeah, for sure. It's 9 to 6 to 6. We are all tied up. This is only 2 left, and we're all tied at 9 to 6 to 6. This is really coming down to the wire.
Right down to the wire.
Here. Drake will lead us off in this one.
Drake. Jamari Connor.
Drake.
Jamari Connor plays more safety than slot this year.
What a great email.
Fiction.
Dear Rome, he'll play me more than slot. Signed, safety. What a great email.
Rack 'em.
Bad take.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Jamari Connor will
Jamari
play more
Connor
safety.
plays more safety than slot this year.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
I think it's a fact.
I hope it's a fact, so I'm saying fact.
I don't see it.
I
Finally get it. He
really
says
hope it's a fact.
He says hope.
I hope it's a
Finally
fact.
Hope floats, you know? 10 to 7 to 7. We're all tied. Last one. This is crucial. This is a big one.
Oh, I don't think Drake got that one.
Oh, Drake. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I think
yep.
it's 9
sorry.
to 7
Oh,
to 7.
wow. It is tied now. Now it's all tied.
that
9 to 7 to
was
7.
really
is
tied.
9 to 7 to
huge.
7.
The Yankees
Yankees
Yankees. The New York Yankees.
will miss the playoffs.
If I could
I
pick
go
a fact
first.
out
I'm
of
gonna
all
go
these.
fact. Fact.
Oh God, they're
Although
just
Aaron Judge,
leaking oil.
Aaron Judge activated today. He's playing tonight,
He's gonna
so
pitch
there's
the
the big
8th?
there's the big boost for him. He's going to come out with that arm injury and pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'm going fact though. Why
I'm
not?
praying
Let's have fun.
for the fact.
Let's have fun.
I think Sterling's going to say fact, so I'll say fact.
It's fiction.
It's not just what I say; it's what it is,
It's what it is.
and that is a fact,
That's
baby.
a fact. How
Jack.
funny would that be?
God, that'd be so great.
This is so tied.
It's so great.
Yankees.
8-10-8.
I read this
Yankees
off
with the
earlier, but it
choke
was
job.
so good that I want to read it again. Mike Vaccaro for the New York Post after the Yankees blew yet another game last night, and Devin Williams talked about the one pitch that he left to Jock
the one bad
Peterson
one,
to
yeah.
hit the home run, and Mike Vaccaro at the New York Post his stories. The only thing these Yankees are starting to do best is lose. And his open is Devin Williams said he only threw one pitch that hurt me. Yep. And the captain of the Titanic only hit one iceberg.
Just one. Only one.
It's only one pitch that hurt me.
It only takes one,
Well,
man.
what about the one pitch in the 8th? And what about the one pitch on Sunday? And what about the one pitch on Saturday? And the one pitch on Friday? It's
Hitting
only one
icebergs
pitch
every day.
that just keeps hurting this team. It's only one pitch here or there. It's
finding
one
that iceberg.
error. It's one forgetting that there's only 2 outs in an inning. It's just one thing here or there for this sinking ship
Hate
of
to
the
see it.
Yankees that have been passed by the Red Sox now. And they're, 5.5 or 6 games behind the Blue Jays. We are tied 8 to 10.
What
So we're
is
tied at
the
8-10.
category for your bad final question?
This
Yeah.
one's good,
Bad
and
final
it's,
question.
and it's hard.
Okay.
I just love that Drake reluctantly always marks.
He's just so disgusted with Sterling.
Just always reluctant.
Get your
Disappointed father.
mind out of the gutter.
What's the category?
What is it?
Which teams
Mm-hmm.
make the wild card in the AL? And what order?
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. We got to do the order as well.
Gotta get the
My
order.
goodness. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do this. But we'll take a break and we'll try to figure it out. We'll see what happens. 8 to 10 is our score, and we'll see
barn
who's going to
burner.
win. It's a tie. We'll come back with the bonus / tie-breaking question next. All right, so we got this bonus / tie-breaking question with our Fact or Fiction with Todd Lebo hanging out with us until 2 o'clock. The program comes your way after we are done at 2. And then a little bonus hour, a little sporting Kansas City show coming up tonight. Royals game number 2 against the Red Sox. Bergert on the mound against Garrett Crochet. He's got a tough assignment tonight, does Bergert. Crochet is a pretty good pitcher. Pretty good pitcher. And his 2.2 ERA and his 12-4 shiny record. Garrett Crochet.
He gave up a run to the Royals
Sox.
earlier this year.
He can give up more runs. I mean, they're playing much better baseball right now. So we tied, and we have this tiebreaker because we tied in Fact or Fiction at 10-8.
I call it a bonus now because that way.
No, it's a tiebreaker.
Not every. No, because if
it's a tiebreaker.
For example, what if it's 8 to 10?
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
What if someone
example.
gets all 3 points?
You're giving 3 points out. Okay.
You're getting 3 points.
All right.
If you get 0,
But shouldn't it be 6 points, 1 for the team and 1 for the order, maybe?
we could. I don't really
You
think
don't
that far
through.
ahead.
I know you don't.
Well, I'm hungry,
All
and
right, here's my third
where's
place,
your nuts?
Here's my third place wild card team. Are you ready? Kansas City Royals.
My third place wild card team. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Kansas City Royals.
All right.
Yeah, there's some wishful thinking
Oh, yeah.
on my list here, so I've got the Royals at number 3 as well.
Okay, number 3. I actually put Royals or Rangers. I would have.
You have oars?
You can't have an or.
So we
did.
get 2 points apiece for that. 'Cause
You
we
get
got the
2 points.
team
Yes,
and
you
the-
get 2 points.
2-2-2.
My second place
Royals
wild
or
card
Rangers,
team
I would have accepted
is
because
Boston.
Mine is Seattle.
Mine is also Seattle.
Astros. I think Seattle overtakes.
I like it. That's smart. Well
I'm in
done.
trouble. So my first one is Seattle, but you got Seattle.
But you got Seattle.
Seattle, I
taking the division.
think, wins the division. The Astros.
So
got
I'm
second.
only going to get 2 points.
I got Boston.
I have Boston.
Is it Toronto?
It's Toronto.
So Boston's going to overtake as well.
I think Boston overtakes
Whoa.
Toronto.
So we all only got 2 points.
Wow.
So we need a
we remained
tiebreaker
tied.
for the tiebreaker.
So we need
No,
what's
actually,
your, so
Drake
what's your,
wins now.
So what's your bonus? What's your tiebreaker question then? Now that we have the bonus question that we all got 2 points on.
Well, I didn't think
so
this
now
far
we're all
ahead.
tied at 12-10.
It's just what's your favorite Black Sabbath album?
We're all
Let's
tied
see.
at 12-10. I can't do
Jason
that one.
won't even know a name
No,
of
I
any
can't
of
do
them.
that one. Black Sabbath returns.
You could've just
The
said
Black Sabbath.
and you'd been
Yeah,
fine.
Black
you
Sabbath.
could have said Black Sabbath. but-
Volume 4.
Volume 4.
It's not. It shouldn't be your favorite.
Oh, 3.
Paranoid's the best one because it's
2?
got more of the songs on it. But
What about 1?
But he likes
Week 0.
The one when they
he
were
likes
on.
Master of Reality. That's the
That's
one
a
with,
good one.
with Snowblind and all that on there, isn't it?
What?
What's your favorite one? Yeah, pick a child.
If
Come
two
on.
of your favorite are on there.
Pick a child. Go ahead. Do
I'm
it.
not doing it.
Pick a
I'm
child.
not gonna do it.
Heaven or hell?
Oh, it's not. Right.
No, heaven.
Dio
I-
one. You coming here trying to talk some
choose
sense to me? You're
I knew
insane.
it could get you riled up.
What's your favorite, Todd?
Paranoid's the best one. You can listen to it all
I
the way
could get
through.
you riled up.
Which one speaks to you as a younger Todd Lebo
Well,
coming of age?
The one that I listened to more than any of them was Paranoid because I had that album. I had the record.
Yeah.
Flip that baby over, play both sides all the way through. But then when you get older, then you get, my brother did have Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, it's a
where
good
Ronnie
album.
James Dio joined up.
It's a great
But then,
album.
Then you start buying CDs, and then you could get a greatest hits and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
get
greatest
them on there.
hits.
But I'm Paranoid's the best one.
There's the greatest hit. It's people that just get greatest hits.
Paranoid's
it's just
got
stale.
War
you
Pigs
know?
and Iron Man and Paranoid.
War Pig
and Fairies Wear
is-
Boots and
Yeah, that's a
Hand of
great
Doom
one.
and,
Yeah.
and Planet Caravan. What a wild song that is. you
Drake,
know?
what's yours? What's your
Rat
favorite?
Salad? Come on.
I'd have to go with Paranoid as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Sterling, you're still scared to choose one?
No,
Say
Black
Master
Black
Reality.
Sabbath 4 is the one that
That
has
Supernaut. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one where they were potentially on the uppers.
Potentially. They were on all of the things all the time.
But they were for sure on the uppers for that album, and it's a lot little.
We're for sure on uppers.
Allegedly for sure on uppers.
This is widely known
well
fact.
documented. These guys had some troubles.
On uppers during
And the
that album.
wildest thing is just now Ozzy died. I mean, they're all alive.
Now, Master of Reality's good. Like Sweet Leaf's great, but
Volume 4?
Volume 4 is up there.
Is Volume 2 any good?
That's Paranoid.
It's
not Volume 2, but that's their second album.
We could talk about Led
they
Zeppelin.
released Black Sabbath and Paranoid within months of each other in 1970.
It has to be
Pretty good.
Paranoid. Paranoid has to be the answer.
So you all
You
went
could
three.
say
All
Led
three
Zeppelin. You could have done that. You could have actually nailed it because Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4.
But it's not called 4. It's just called whatever. Doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
Runes,
It's just-
Zoso. I don't know.
Yeah. What would you call it?
I call it 4.
4? Yeah.
Because it was the fourth one. You don't just start calling things 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then don't.
And then stop it.
And then stop when you get to.
When you get to 4, you don't have a title on it. There's no title.
Has there been a series or a movie that has gone through a trilogy / further than that, where they change it? Well, you know what? Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Balboa.
Creed.
1, 2. Yes, Creed 1, 2.
Well,
Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Balboa. Creed 1, 2.
It's almost like.
So we came up with it.
Oh, what's the movie
I don't know.
that I love?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
The Notebook.
White Chicks.
Yes, White Chicks. But when the drummer dies, you can turn it to 11.
Debbie visits Dallas.
Dude, I'm struggling right now.
He's so hungry.
I'm so hungry.
Why don't you get some sunflower seeds like yesterday?
Well, I had nuts. I had Lebo's
sunflower
nuts,
seeds.
and he didn't bring them back in here.
Well, thank you
don't
for
bring him in the studio.
No,
Lebo,
they're in his office.
You think you'd take them everywhere?
They're his. They're his. He leaves them in the office.
Come in and I dole them out.
So what is it about Spinal Tap that it goes to 11?
Oh
He
man,
lost his train of thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
because
album,
he's so hungry.
the album where like
It's just black.
It's just black. Can it
It's
get?
just black.
It's just
It's blacker than black.
blacker than black. Can it even?
You should have seen the
get
original.
more black.
It's called Smell the Glove. You had a woman on all fours smelling a glove. What's offensive about that?
Didn't they just release that in the movie theater recently?
Well, there's a new movie coming out. Spinal Tap 2.
No, there's not.
Yes.
Don't you dare.
There is.
Adam
it better
Sandler's
be
in it.
better.
It's Adam Sandler. It's
No,
an Adam
it's-
Sandler joint.
It's
a happy
them. It's
Madison
Michael
production.
McKean and Christopher Guest and Harry Shearer.
Are you almost
No,
cussed?
he's not listening to you.
Is it
Yes.
Happy Madison?
No, it is. Google
It
that.
better be.
They had a second
better.
record too called "Break Like the Wind." Not as good as the first record. I have the album, the actual
Yeah.
just black
By the way, this is
Spinal Tap album.
This is random.
It was a good
Todd,
album, though.
Look
It's
at the
a great
TV
album.
real quick. See if you see something that's odd there. It's a left-handed shortstop.
Wow, why not?
I don't know the last time I've ever seen a left-handed
He turned
shortstop.
the whole body, made a good throw.
He ran to his right to the hole, stopped, turned around, then threw with his left hand because he's left-handed. I don't know that I've seen that's the
not
yeah.
at the little league level.
Yes, I mean you're left-handed.
Even
you're,
in the little leagues, they
you're
don't do
playing
that.
first if you're left-handed
I
on the
remember
infield.
one time we were doing a remote out. It was when they were the T-Bones. We're there in the afternoon, and there's a bunch of guys out taking infield, and there's a left-handed shortstop, and they're throwing the ball all over the place. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been out here in a couple of years. The talent level is really fallen. And then I figured out that it was the grounds crew just messing around, and I was like, oh, good. But that's the only time I've ever seen a left-handed shortstop.
It was the grounds crew playing.
I think the trivia answer to the last time there was ever a left-handed second baseman in a game, I believe this is the restart of the Pine Tar game.
Really?
Billy Martin was so mad at what they were doing, he put Don Mattingly in at second base to finish the game, and like Ron Guidry in at center field. He's like, I'm done with you people. And I believe if you look at the finishing of that Pine Tar game, Don Mattingly played second base.
I actually think, and I could be wrong here, Anthony Rizzo may have played
some
second base at one point.
Did he really?
I think he was labeled as being. Let me see if I can find it. He got like it was like an inning or they had a swap somehow.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was
well, that's
something.
all Mattingly was. He didn't start the game. It was just they finished 3 outs of the game, and there was 7 people in the stands, and Billy Martin's like, "I'll show you guys."
Didn't Chuck Knobloch try to throw left-handed a few times?
Probably should have. Couldn't have hurt.
Have you tried your left hand?
Just try it. Turn the other way, buddy.
Lester, has Anthony Volpe tried throwing with his left hand lately? Because he's
these
got
Yankees
the
alone.
He's got the yips right now.
Leave
going
these
on.
Yankees
Hey,
alone.
Aaron Judge is off the IL. They're
all
fine
good.
now. They're
It's all
going to
fixed.
activate Aaron Judge, and they're going to be up by so many runs that giving up 5 or 6 in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning won't matter.
Every once in a while, my buddy, his daughter plays softball. He'll send us a text out of the game. We got a left-handed shortstop, a left-handed second baseman out here tonight.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Left-handed, fired across the
yeah.
diamond.
I mean the guy's fielding everything.
He played second base
Rizzo
when they knew teams were going to bunt. Apparently, they would flip-flop Zobrist and Rizzo and put.
So just
He
for that
was
one,
still in the lineup as the.
he's still a first baseman.
But they would flip him. Yeah.
But he would
Yeah.
get an out or an inning at second base.
But he's probably not officially called a second baseman in the box score.
I don't know.
Because you have to officially change their positions. But
He had to one time because they normally would just do the flip flop, but one time apparently the umpires threw a fit about it,
Yeah.
and I
Did
think
they
he
literally
had
throw
to
a fit?
They may
Sit
have.
out there and say, "I don't believe you're doing this."
Yeah, he played a total of 13 games. He's credited at second base.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
See?
good. I like
He's
it.
credited
You
with
like that?
13
Who
games at
knew?
second base.
Rizzo.
Wow, I didn't realize that Rizzo.
See, why can't I know smart things? I know so
You know
much
all kinds of
dumb
smart things.
stuff.
You're a big Cubs fan.
I know
old
way
Cubby bear
too
over
much
here.
dumb.
You know a lot of smart things.
Old Cubby, you know
Got
about
some bad attitudes about tacos, but
some terrible opinions about that.
Petra just goes 13 games at second for Rizzo. Yes, he counted. I know. Fantasy.
Nice. Well done.
See, Petro's trying to skirt the rules.
There it is.
He's going. Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Position versatility.
Hey, all
man.
this power I'm getting out of my second baseman.
Credit to Petro, but credit to me for knowing that prior.
Did Petro give you credit for knowing something?
I don't know. He just.
Seren, will you please give
No,
Sterling
don't do it.
credit for knowing
Don't
something
do it.
one time?
What?
Don't do it.
He knows things.
I know stuff. I'm
some stuff.
smart. I'm self-smart.
He drinks and he knows things.
Yeah, I'm losing O'Neal Cruz on my fantasy keeper league. I'm losing his shortstop eligibility this year.
What do you do?
Outfielder only. Ugh.
What a national tragedy for you.
Isn't it, though? I mean, it's terrible.
What are you going to do?
I mean, Ellie goes from third base shortstop to only short. O'Neal goes from short to outfield and now only outfield. I mean, I feel like
these guys just play.
Should I just release them? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. Thank you, Todd. We release you now. Program
Thank you.
next.